Jesus Christ, you people suck. Wow. Wolverine wanted to be just...
Back in the days when we played video games, it was hardcore for the nerdy and lazy. Now things have changed and all our video games are also for the casual and lady.
But that's okay, you know the score. We told you a million times before. Playing consoles, not just games, is in the past. And every week you listen to the best damn internet radio crew. It's the N4G podcast. It's the N4G podcast.
Alright, it's time. Another week. N4G Radio. This is not episode 666, it's 667.
Round it up.
That's right. For September 13th, 2021. And on the show this week, we have Anthony.
Hello.
We have the Wombat.
Yes, sir.
And we have Drew not calling in from Bosnia.
Yep, I've returned from Bosnia.
He's back. How was it over there?
Very Bosnian.
Okay. I'm okay with that answer. That's a good answer.
You know, we've said it before, but half the people listening to this probably don't even know the reference that we're saying.
Some fucking
No,
like,
at some point we should update the reference. Yeah.
yeah, like that's from like some fucking news story and whew, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. We're hitting the silly season. Video games are upon us. And I think we haven't played any of them, maybe. I don't know.
No.
So I'll start with Drew, who is probably not playing anything new.
I mean, I am playing something new, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's out this week, I think.
It's the 15th.
15th, so it's on Tuesday. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like you
that's-
can't say what it is, but
I'm playing Skatebird,
Skatebird.
which is a skateboarding game.
There
where
was
you
a
play as
demo out,
bird.
so
Yeah.
I mean, it's Tony Hawk with birds, kind of.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I will talk more about that later. I'm going to write a review of that.
Skatebird.
Skatebird. They even reference Tony Hawk a couple of times. Because of course they do.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I think they reference Anthony Hawk.
Did he make his skateboard out of blood? Oh, sorry.
But yeah, I played that. Let's see here. Well, Phoenix Down.
Oh.
You want to go listen to that? 12. We did 12 minutes. That was an experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing basically the same stuff I always play, it seems like.
I saw your picture the other night of your 2-minute queue.
Yeah. Less than 2 minutes, and I was at 5 minutes and 3 seconds at that point.
Yeah.
All I want to do is I just want to do my placement matches for DPS. I will never play DPS again the rest of the season, but I just want to get those 5 placement matches. But you're sitting there upwards to 5 to 10 minutes waiting to get into a game. And this is with cross-play enabled.
Yeah. It's
So
still bad.
the entirety of the Overwatch community is being ranked together, and they still can't find me a match.
Well, maybe you're just too good.
Or maybe I'm just too bad. So that's the thing, is like I'm not a DPS player, but you know, you have what, 6 tanks and 6 healers, and the rest of the characters in that game are DPS characters. That's what happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
When you make a bunch of DPS characters and everybody wants to pick one of those. You can't find anybody to play.
It's a shame so many people pick those characters too, because most of them suck at it.
That's the thing. It gets me is like you know you're waiting upwards to 10 minutes to get into a game to suck that bad, and I'm just like, God, no wonder these people are so mad.
Yeah, that's no wonder they're typing these like obscenities into the chat.
Mm-hmm. Blaming everybody but themselves.
Oh yeah, that's always my favorite.
Yep.
I saw a positive message last night. Like I got a positive message in the chat last night, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah. But I had to be honest with you. It's been a lot of Skatebird, if we're being honest, and I can't talk about it.
Skatebird.
You know, I do all the Game Pass Quest games, so I played State of Decay 2 for the 10th time. It seems like.
What do you do? You even uninstall it, or do you just play like the streaming?
I install it.
Do you install it every time, or you just leave it on there?
I install it every time.
Oh my god!
Because see, you know, every month you have the whole install so many games via the app quest as well. So I just knock them out that way.
Two skatebirds, one stone.
That's right. 2 Anthony Hawks, 1 stone.
Oh man, I'm not doing the Black Desert one this month. Fuck that.
I did it. It took 3 minutes.
I don't care. That game takes forever to get into, like to load into the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Ugh. And that game is not very good, so...
No, it's not.
Yeah. I'm good. I don't need that 50 points that bad.
With the amount of Game Pass games, why do they keep going back to State of Decay 2 and Black Desert?
I don't know. And the Human Fall Flat one crops up every other month.
I will skip that quest. I fucking hate that game. I hate Human Fall Flat. I hate it.
Same. That's one game where, generally speaking, if my son says, "Hey, Dad, let's play this," I will play whatever he asks for. But he already knows not to ask me to play that game.
You pulled a meatloaf on him.
Yes. Yeah.
But I won't do that.
I won't do that. No, I told him before. I said, "Jacob, buddy, I will play anything that you want except for that, because I can't stand that game. It's frustrating on purpose.
Yeah.
We'll play Gang Beasts every now and then or something like that, and that kind of plays the same way. But there's no like, you're just wrestling with each other or whatever, or fighting each other. That game where you're trying to solve puzzles and complete a level and everything, it completely breaks my brain, because it's like, if there's no goal, then I don't care if it plays like crap. But don't give me a goal to complete and make the game play like crap, because then it's just you fighting against me to complete that.
That's the biggest thing. Like, here, climb this mountain, and if you get about halfway up it and you fall, well, you get to climb it all over again.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know. Fuck you, game. I'm not playing that.
That's why I don't like Octodad either, for the same reason.
Yeah, that game, man. Kids love them floppy physics games, though.
They sure do. They sure do.
My son, anytime he sees a game and it's got floppy physics, he's like, "Can I play that? I want to play that."
Yeah, well, that's like now they're playing Wobbly Life. That's the new one for my son and his friends. And like I asked him the one day, I'm like, you realize games are supposed to play well, right? Like, they're not supposed to frustrate you just for controlling it. Like, I grew up on Mega Man. That game was frustrating, but it wasn't frustrating because it was hard to control. It was frustrating because it was difficult and required precision. These games require the opposite of precision, because precision is impossible.
Yeah.
My son hated Mega Man.
Oh, man.
He played it. He's like, "I can't play this. He's like, it's too hard." I was like, "It was because they got wobbly physics."
So normally I'm of the no free clout persuasion, but I will say I've discovered I think relatively new. I think it's only about a year old YouTube channel called You Can Beat Video Games, That's really good. And if you're into NES games, I would suggest checking it out. He basically shows you the easiest like ways or tips and tricks or whatever. He'll do a full playthrough of the game. They're all on NES so far. But he'll show you like the easiest ways to finish stuff for different tips or tricks in different levels. Or for Mega Man, obviously it's not just boss strategies, but also what weapons to use against the non-boss enemies that you come across, or different paths to take through the level to make it easy. He did a really good one for Double Dragon.
Does he do
I really enjoyed.
exploits?
No, he'll show you. So like he demonstrates so like the one I'm watching right now is Mega Man 3, and he demonstrates that like you can do the you can get the rush jet early by holding left on one of the I think it's the rush coil. If you hold left on the rush coil, you can actually get the rush jet early, but he doesn't use that for the playthrough. Like he'll show you how to do it, but then he'll say, but you know, this playthrough we're going to be doing it without that exploit, but here's how you do it if you want to do it.
Right.
Same way for like the Elecman exploit in the first Mega Man, where you can hit select really fast when you shoot the elect beam, and it'll keep hitting them over and over again because it blocks your invincibility frames. He shows you how to do that and what bosses you can use it on, but he also shows you how to beat them without that. So it's a really good channel. I was skeptical at first when I first started watching it, but the first one I watched that popped up in my YouTube feed was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES.
Oh God.
And so after watching that one, I was like, okay, I'll give this guy a shot on some of the other ones, and his stuff's pretty good. So I would recommend
Super C, because that's the hardest game I've ever played in my life.
I know he's done one of the Contras. I don't know if he's done Super C. The only ones I've watched so far are TMNT on the NES, Mega Man 1, Mega Man 2, Double Dragon, and I'm partway through Mega Man 3 right now. But the Mega Man ones are just fun for me because I beat them all, and so it's just fun to see what I could have done to beat them faster.
Right.
Super C is too fucking hard.
Super C is the hardest fucking game I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I remember my dad got it for me for Easter. And so I opened it up and I was like, all right, a new video game. So I started playing it. And I kept dying on like the first probably like 2 screens of that game. And Dad was watching me and he's like, let me see that controller. And he started playing it. And he was like, this game cheats or something.
It's
like,
too hard, dude.
Hard. Yeah, he's like, what do they expect you to do here? Yeah, that was a nightmare.
I remember when they re-released it on Xbox Live Arcade, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. I died on like the first screen. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah. God, Super C. Everybody always talks about what's the hardest game, NES hard game, and they always say Contra. I'm like, no, play the sequels.
No.
Play the sequel.
Super C is so much harder than Contra.
Yeah, I can beat Contra. I cannot beat Super C.
Yeah, absolutely. Contra's hard, but it's not impossible. Super C, it's fucking impossible.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, I get a little upset when I see the Contra games ranked above. Like I think I saw a list a couple years ago of best NES games that had Contra ranked above Mega Man 2, and I can't get on board with that. I've never been. So you guys don't like the arcane stuff, but I've never been a huge Contra fan. That'll be my controversial game that I don't like.
I like Contra and I like Contra 4.
Actually,
Super C can kiss my ass.
I liked Super Contra. No, not Super Contra. What's the one that's Contra 4 is the one on Super Nintendo?
Yeah,
right?
it's Super Contra is what it's dubbed as, but it's Contra 4.
Yeah. That's the only one. That's the only one I even halfway liked, and really, I only liked it because the bosses were cool.
Oh wait, no, Contra 3, the Alien Wars is the Super Nintendo.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Sorry, not 4, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I ever liked.
I got confused because Castlevania was 4 on the Super Nintendo.
Castlevania was 4, right?
Contra 4 is a DS game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Contra 3 on the Super NES is the only one that I ever halfway liked. And like I said, I only really liked it because of the boss design. Other than that, I'm just not a huge fan of Contra. I actually, oddly enough, like the Akari Warriors games more than I like the Contra games.
That's because you haven't played Akari Warriors in a long time. Fuck that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been since I was a kid since I played Akari Warriors, but
Do you
I beat
remember
all three of
the
those games.
Do you remember the code to
Oh, of
continue?
course. Yep.
ABBA. ABBA.
Yeah. And it felt like it worked like 25% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that game is so bad. Oh,
Those codes, and a game Genie were the only way I beat those games when I was a kid. But
Yeah.
like, I had a game Genie, and there was no at the time. There was no, oh, I'm gonna try and beat this without the game Genie to try to prove myself. No, dude, it's like I rented this game. I've got it for the day. We're gonna game Genie out of this thing and beat it.
100%. As soon as Game Genie came around, if something was too damn hard, I plugged that fucker in and typed in those stupid 8-digit codes and...
Yep.
Oh, man. Taking me back to renting video games at Marsh's.
I was just getting ready to say Marsh. That's where I used to rent my games too when I would go to my grandma's house.
Yep.
And they had like a little card thing that you would pull out of the game and take it up to the counter.
Yep, they had a Game Genie at my Marsh, and I remember the first time I rented it, I was like, oh shit, I can beat all of my games.
Yep.
Whew.
Yeah, I got Game Genie. Game Genie screwed me on Mega Man with the boss where you have to have in Mega Man 2 where you have to have the crash bombs, and you literally only have enough crash bombs to beat the level, and so if you misfire one, you can't finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the Infinite Life Game Genie code on, and yeah, I ran out of crash bombs because I accidentally fired one and then couldn't finish the level, and yeah, I was screwed.
Did anybody ever have the Game Genie for the Game Boy?
I did not know.
Okay.
I had an action replay for the original Game Boy.
Okay, so the Game Genie on the Game Boy had a compartment on the back of it where the book with the codes went in. You want to talk about needing a magnifying glass to read a motherfucker?
Oh, so mine. I thought you were going to talk about how the way mine worked is you plug it in, and then on the back you put the cartridge upside down. So it's like a pass through, and if you touch that cartridge at all, you could completely fuck up your game.
I mean, they got away with that because, they put the warning on the box like, this ain't licensed.
Right.
Correct, but I mean, it was just like, oh my god.
We can blow your
Very
shit up.
scary.
Oh, man. I love it. I love it. All right. So that's it for you, Drew?
That is it for me.
All right. I'll move on to Anthony.
I finished Psychonauts 2 this morning.
That game is so
100%ed it. I finished it earlier this week, but I 100%ed it. I have every achievement. It was a good feeling to get that thing 100%ed. Yeah, that'll be on the Game of the Year talks for sure.
Yeah, it's on my list for sure.
No more heroes. By that I mean I'm still at the same boss because it's just like I like try and I'm like, all right, I'm frustrated. We're not going to play this anymore. And I've been busy this week for having a week off. Sure did put myself into a bunch of scenarios where I wasn't at home. Picked up Sonic Colors finally. Haven't played it. You know me. I'm a whore.
Yeah, I'd have bought it too if they didn't send a code, and I know that yeah.
I bought the Switch version too. So.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, man. I don't give enough of a shit. Like that's where I'm gonna play the Sonic game the most. I expect Sonic to be a bit buggy. That's just where we're at.
It's sad
it's
that we've
2D...
come to it's sad that we've come to this point because Sonic was never known for being buggy, and then now it's just like
if it's 2D, then there should be no bugs. If it's as bad as Sonic 06,
I mean, Sonic Adventure was buggy. Let's not beat around the bush. Sonic 06 was not the first bad Sonic game.
I think we had this conversation last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. I don't think Sonic Adventure 1 is a very good game at all.
That first level is one of the most amazing things you'll ever see when, like, back in the
sure.
day. And then after that, you're just kind of like, wow, this game kind of sucks.
Well, it's so good that they keep bringing a goddamn whale back. Stop it. Stop. We get it. It's not as fascinating now. It's just this shitty thing that you keep doing in these video games. Like Generations does it. Sonic 06 does it.
Don't tell me anytime you hear the word Sonic, you don't hear, God open your heart.
No.
Oh, really?
I hear Live and Learn,
Oh,
which I think is the better final sequence. But I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 really cut down the adventure part, and that game runs a lot smoother.
yeah, but you got to dig up gems as Knuckles.
Yeah, well, I mean, Knuckles stages were kind of that adventure as well.
Oh, sure,
It was
but
slow.
God, that sound! Like I have nightmares of that sound. Like when you're getting closer and it gets faster.
The hip hop songs were pretty good in Sonic Adventure 2.
Rap
yeah.
breakdown.
I was thinking, fucking Pumpkin Hill theme.
Oh man.
The game I've put that's relevant at all, that I've put time into. I have games for review, but it's like stuff that I kind of really need to sit down with. Like, I wanted to have Life is Strange done, but I just didn't have time to sit down for any long periods of time. And obviously, that's a story-based game, so I'm like, well, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna play through this. And I got my review for Space Invaders done. And I'm just going to say this. Space Invaders Extreme is kind of why you're buying that package. Space Invaders Extreme is fantastic. But if anybody out there has, anyone that has an Xbox, I believe it's backwards compatible. Go buy Infinity Gene on Xbox. Because I think that's the best Space Invaders game. It starts off, the first level is the old school Space Invaders, and then you finish it, and it turns into a completely different shooter with like these weird leveling up mechanics, and you get different ships, and they all fire different, and it looks like an old vector graphics. So like that's the game to play. Space Invaders Extreme by itself is $30. So if you're gonna buy that, I guess get the collection that has Space Invaders Extreme, and the other two games that it gets with the lesser. I mean, that was the biggest problem. Was like looking even in the Japanese release, that stupid Space Invaders collection is just a nightmare. And what you're buying and what it includes and everything. It's just make the Space Invaders collection. Like, I don't know how that's so fucking hard. If I buy a Pac-Man collection, I expect to have a good selection of Pac-Man games. But I did pick up the new Warioware. That's a really good game.
Does it require you to use the Joy-Cons?
No, so I'm playing maybe multiplayer. Maybe multiplayer does.
Well, I'm
that.
asking because my son wants it.
But if he plays it by himself, I play with standard. Like I put the Joy-Cons in the controller shape handle thing and play that way.
Well, he'll be playing with a Pro controller. That's going to be my question.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch Pro controller compatible.
Okay, I need to make sure because I know we bought him one of the Scribblenauts games and it doesn't use Joy. I don't let the Joy-Cons come out because it snapped at one point and I don't want to take them back out again.
Fair enough.
So
That Scribblenauts game on the Switch is a lot of fun. If it's the same one I'm thinking of, is it the multiplayer one?
I bought the package for him, and one of them he can play, and one of them requires the Joy-Cons. And
that's the DC and other one. Yeah, that's those are the older games. I know which one Ryan's talking about. That's the newer title, right?
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Hold on, I'll find it.
Yeah, my son loves one of the one that he can play, but the one for the Joy-Cons, I was just like, nah, dude, I'm sorry. I don't want to take them out because I don't want to get them broken because they're already broken and those things are fucking $80 to replace.
Yeah.
Scribblenauts Showdown is the one I'm talking about.
Okay, that is the one I was thinking of. Yeah, I couldn't remember the title of it either.
That game's fun. It's like almost like Mario Party, but it's a Scribblenauts game.
Oh,
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really fun.
So I'm assuming everybody here has played like a WarioWare game before.
100%, absolutely.
I love
Okay,
those games.
so do I, and I got to review WarioWare Gold, which was kind of the last 3DS release. And I loved it. It was a great collection of the greatest hits, plus some new stuff. Of all the Game Boy Advance and DS games. And I like the Wii one. The only one I don't have is the Do It Yourself, which I need to pick up because apparently there are a bunch of Nintendo made levels on it. But I love the WarioWare series. This feels like the best thing they could possibly do, because part of me goes, I wish they'd done more with the unique features of the Switch. But I think this is probably the more interesting than them just doing another WarioWare game that works with the gimmicks of the console it's on. Because there are, give me a second, I'm counting, 13 different characters that you play as, and all the characters play different. And that is how you play so everybody gets the same micro games. For example, one of them is like collect the coins. And depending on the character you play as, that could be really easy or really hard. So like most of the characters move around. But there's a character named 18 Volt who sits in one spot. He can fire discs in any direction, but the only way he can move is by grabbing these little like gymnast rings, and if they move, they'll pull him across. Now he can collect stuff with the discs he throws, but that's implying you have a good shot. Because like there was a mini game I failed because he had no way to be able to shoot the thing easily. To like it's really interesting because the difficulty spikes depending on what characters you bring in. So every story level has a fixed character you have to bring in, but then you can choose the other two. And then when you go back to previous levels, you can choose whatever 3 characters you want to bring in, and it switches between those 3 randomly. So not only are all the micro games a lot of fun and new, but like the fact that they've made new micro games and they all play differently between different characters, and they all have to be able to be played co-op as well. Like it's so smart. Like I couldn't have seen this to be I couldn't have seen this being the way that WarioWare would go, but I think it's one of the best WarioWare games so far. And I think the original still is probably my second favorite. But this might end up being my first. Like in pushing the WarioWare, because like I love the DS title. I think the DS title was everything that it needed to be, but I think this might push those two down. Like it's so much fun because I'm like, oh, I know the mini game, but I don't know what to do with this character in it. I'm excited to play more of it. I've got through. They set it up sort of like worlds. So I finished World 1, and then I've now moved into World 2. And I'm not sure what's going to happen, but like the 9 Volt still has all the old Nintendo games done as micro games. It's just funny because like now they have like other Wii or other Switch titles. So like one of them was Splatoon, one of them was Breath of the Wild with like the charging up of like something that like Link has like put the time lock on. And then you're building up the arrow, and then it shoots it across. I think this is probably another game that'll be on my Game of the Year list. And that's it for me. I unfortunately just haven't had a ton of time to play anything.
So you still haven't checked out Fist?
No, and that was another one that I wanted to get to. But
all right, well, I'll talk a little bit
I
more
know.
about that one in a minute. I gotta.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta write my review, but I needed to get further because I didn't want it to be. The first 5 hours impression. I wanted to actually get a little further, and definitely have some more to say right now. But all right, if that's it, I'll move over to the Wombat.
All right. Man, I ain't played shit. That's it. No.
Oh.
No. Kidding. So really though, genuinely, I haven't played much of anything. I played a little bit more Yakuza 0. And really that's it. As far as games on the console, the only other thing that I've played, is a mobile game, and apparently it's been out for like a year, and I just didn't even know it existed. But it's a mobile game called Retro Bowl.
Oh yeah, you texted me about this. I have not played
I
it yet.
did. So it's a really cool little mobile football game. And so it looks visually like Tecmo Bowl, but it doesn't play that way. So it's almost like you're kind of the GM and the head coach at the same time of this Retro Bowl football team, of whatever team you end up. You can pick your team at the beginning. They're all NFL cities, and the cities have the appropriate NFL colors, but the game isn't licensed, so you're not going to see any NFL players or actual NFL logos or anything like that. But you can pick whatever team you want at the beginning, and then ultimately, if you do well, you'll be offered other coaching jobs as you move forward through the game. But you've got to build a team, and the team building stuff is a little different. So you have a full team of, your 11 players on a field at a time. You never control the defense ever. So when it's your turn to be on defense, it basically just tells you on the screen what's happening. So the goal is to have a defense that's good enough that it can stop the other player's offense, even though you're not controlling it. You can have 10 star players that you can either draft, you can sign through free agency, although they're very expensive and you don't earn a lot of coins. So more than likely you're going to draft them. And those players can then level up throughout the season to increase their stats. The star players on offense, like your quarterback, if you have a star quarterback, he moves faster, he throws more accurately, he can throw the ball farther. If you're using the generic quarterback, he's very hard to use. He doesn't throw the ball that well. He doesn't throw it very far. He can't move very fast. You could have a star running back, tight end, wide receiver, and they all, do different things. The star players are dramatically faster than the non-star players. So it's definitely worth having a full set of star players on your team. And each one of those can then level up to be a 5-star player, up to a 5-star player. They all have their own potential cap that you can see when you're drafting them. The players are going to be on a 2-year contract or a 3-year contract. Sometimes they'll be on a 1-year contract, or you'll be offered a free agent in the middle of the season that you can sign. That'll be retiring at the end of the season. You can trade for draft picks and stuff like that. You do have a salary cap. So every year at the end of the season, you can choose to re-sign whatever players you want, and it won't cost you any of the coach coins is what they call them, but you do have to keep them against your salary cap. So it's hard to keep all your really high level players every year. You're going to have to let some of them go. You kind of have to prioritize. When you're playing the game, you can hand it off to your running back just by tapping them on the screen. And then you can swipe up to dodge up, swipe down to dodge down, or swipe forward to dive. And they run by themselves. You don't have to make them run. They run by themselves, and you just swipe up or down depending on how you're trying to get away from the people that are trying to tackle you. When you're the quarterback, you pull back almost like you were shooting a bow and arrow. You pull back and hold, and depending on how far you pull back, that'll determine how far he throws. And then you move, around to aim to whatever receiver you're trying to throw at. You don't pick the plays. The plays are picked for you. And you do get 3 audibles a game where you can change the play that was picked for you. So there's almost like a little puzzle every down, where you have to figure out, okay, am I going to be able to get, some yardage with this play configuration against the way the defense is set up, or do I need to use one of my 3 audibles? And the kicking is just normal. You have a power meter and then you have an aim meter and you have to stop them in the right spots. But it's really, really fun, especially for a free-to-play football game. There is a what they call the complete version or something like that, where you pay 99 cents for it, and it unlocks some other stuff within the game. But it's completely viable to play without ever spending any real money on it. It definitely worth playing. I don't even like football, but this game is a lot of fun. So I would recommend, if you even have a passing interest in like retro football games, you might really, really enjoy this game.
Cool. Sounds good.
When you said the name, I was like, oh, bowling.
Oh, no.
And then I was very disappointed.
They have a retro soccer game as well. I wish they would make a retro baseball game, because I would play the shit out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like when you're first listening to it, it sounds a little weird, since you don't play defense and you don't really, you don't have much control over the guys as they're running, except to swipe up or swipe down to dodge or dive. But it can get pretty intense. The games can, when you're trying to make the right passes and not get intercepted and stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot of fun. I would recommend it. And again, it's been out for like a year apparently, and I had never seen it pop up on the App Store. So, but anyway, that's really all I've played.
All right. Just curious, did anybody see that? You know how they do those things, like you've got $15, buy, build your best games or whatever?
Yeah.
They did that for a sports one this weekend. I think it was ESPN put the tweet out. They had NFL 2K5 for $1.
Oh.
And I'm just like, are you fucking high? Madden 2004 is $5, for example. And
Yeah, that's crazy.
To be fair, the dollar tier also has Wii Sports, so I'm like, dude, what are you even doing? Do you even know video games?
Apparently not.
Yeah, it's just like, I mean, come on.
What were the top tier ones?
Madden 2004, NBA 2K looks like 11, FIFA 13, NCAA football, I get that one, 14, and NBA Street Volume 2. Those were the $5 games.
No, the show's on there?
The show is not on here at all.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
That's the best baseball game out there.
There is one baseball game on here.
There.
Oh, sorry, there's 2 baseball games on here.
Okay.
Is one of them Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball for Super Nintendo?
Nope.
Then they're out of mine.
One of them is
Wow.
MVP Baseball 2005.
I mean, which is a good baseball game, but not as good as the show.
The second one is Backyard Baseball.
Are you freaking
Oh.
kidding me?
Wow. I mean, Backyard Baseball is not a bad game either, but man, I definitely wouldn't put it on that list over the show.
Yeah.
Or over Ken Griffey Jr.
There's one wrestling game on here.
Hold on, let me try to guess it.
Before you guess, can I just tell
Yeah.
you that whoever made this list was clearly not born until maybe the PS2 came out?
Okay, so
okay.
I was going to say
Well, then-
Revenge was going to be on there, but not Revenge.
No, I was going to guess No Mercy, but if it's that level of person, then my guess is it's going to be like SmackDown versus Raw or Here Comes the Pain.
It was SmackDown vs. Raw 2007.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest that it probably was after you said the PS2 generation thing, which again is a decent game, but nowhere near the best wrestling game of all time.
This chart makes me cry a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like no N64 games on there at all, which to me is the best of the best when you come to wrestling. Like WCW versus NWO, Revenge, and World Tour are like my favorite wrestling games of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
I'm
of
really.
this. Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say most of the stuff on here, I put it in the chat. Like, you just look at it and you're like, what? You clearly were not born. Like, the only game on there that's old is NBA Jam.
Yeah. I'm really excited for the AEW wrestling game, because it looks like it's taking its cues from no mercy. I mean, the footage they've shown so far, it's really early, you can tell, but the gameplay looks really good. So, or I shouldn't say really good. It looks really good for as early as it is.
Yeah.
Here's the-
Is there a racing game on there?
Yeah, Need for Speed Underground.
that link kind of broke, but
Underground?
2. Is it 2? I think it's 2.
Underground 2? That's a good game, but...
Yeah, this is weird. Like, the ESPN thing throws me off because I'm like, that's the best football game on your chart. Like, just because Madden has the Madden name, Madden 2004 is not better than the ESPN 2K5. You're crazy if you think that game is better. So, yeah, I don't know. It just made me laugh, and there's so many responses to that tweet going, I'll just take $1 and I'll get ESPN 2K5.
yeah, they've got the EA Sports UFC game on here, and I got to tell you, I dramatically like the earlier UFC games that weren't made by EA Sports.
Oh, the THQ ones?
Yeah, those were much better games.
What about Fight Night? Is any of those on there?
Yeah.
Round 3, it looks like.
Yeah.
Round 2 is way better than Round 3.
I mean, whoever made this list is, I don't know, man. Like, maybe y'all don't play sports games. Maybe you just, I can't figure out some of the decisions on this list.
My thing is, I don't play sports games, but I can make a better list than that.
Yeah.
But if you look at this list, it's basically a list of what the people who don't play any games other than sports games would probably ask for.
But I play sports games, and like, there are better versions of some of these games.
Yeah, but you know about video games. Most of the people that only play sports games don't know shit about anything other than what's the new Madden.
I mean, to be fair, they do have the best SSX on here. I can't argue that.
Did you all see that clip from the new NBA?
Oh yeah, the State Farm thing.
Oh my god!
It feels like that game has been building towards something like that for a while with all the sponsored content in the neighborhood.
I have never seen something so undeniably cringe.
Yeah,
like,
it's really bad.
Whoa, you're the guy from State Farm? Like, yo, I'm around the neighborhood. I've been watching you play. Like, oh,
cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
I could see the gun off screen pointed at the actors.
Like this, you're creeping me out, Jake from State Farm.
No.
By the way, Ken, they may have the best SSX on there, but they do not have the best snowboarding game on there because the best snowboarding game is Amp 3.
Amp 3 is really good. God, I wish that was backwards compatible. Man, I'd love to go back and play Amp 3. All right. We'll move on from this crazy sports ball talk. And I'll wrap it up here. Speaking of NBA, since Wombat declined and nobody else likes basketball, I went ahead and downloaded that game, and it seems like it's really good, but apparently it has some super bad issues on Xbox Series X, and it's crashing nonstop.
Really?
Yeah, I saw some... I saw a workaround for it. Like, if you bring up a menu or something, that causes it to crash. And somebody was tweeting out a video like, here's how you keep NBA 2K22 from crashing on Xbox Series X. I was like, oh, wonderful. These are the kind of conversations I want to have at the beginning of a basketball game. So I haven't played a ton of it because I'm terrified of my system crashing. Because not only is it expensive, but I can't replace it right now because nobody can buy one of these fucking things. So...
Does it have a ghost in it?
No, I don't think it has a ghost in it, but it has Jake from State Farm. So
okay. Spikes will show up at some point.
I mean, maybe he'll give you the Patrick price. I don't know.
Okay. Jay-Z, is he there?
Dude, I don't know.
Okay. I'm just like, you're not selling me on this, Ken.
I'm not trying to. I've played it for 10 minutes. I literally played one game just to see how it felt. And then I saw the crashing issues spreading around on the internet, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to wait to boot that back up. Just a thought. I'm playing Cruise and Blast, but I can't talk about it. I can talk about it on Tuesday.
Cruise and Blast, is that like part of the Cruise in
Yeah, it's back.
USA?
It's back. Yeah.
Cruising, okay.
It's coming only to Switch.
Okay, I'm done. That's all I needed to hear.
Let's talk again later. I might try to sell you on that one.
Oh, are you?
Anyway, that's not spoiler. I played a little bit of Ultra Age, which is like if Ultra Age is like the pinnacle of the comment of when somebody says, "Hey mom, I want Devil May Cry," and your mom goes, "We got Devil May Cry at home." It's Ultra Age. It feels like Ultra Age was from Big Lots. It's very generic, and it is very much wanting to be Devil May Cry. Like, dude's got a giant sword, double jumps, he's got like a little hook shot that you can pull people in, kind of like, Nero does. He's wearing a trench coat. You're not fighting demons, you're fighting robots. You got a little robot companion that talks to you and gives you tutorials. The reason I don't like it is because I don't feel like the dodge mechanic works very well. But yeah, Ultra Age. I also played some Deathloop. I don't want to talk too much about Deathloop. Deathloop review goes live tomorrow. I did not review it. I just happened to be playing it alongside the person who is playing it. His review is very glowing. I can tell you that. I can also tell you that if you don't like rogue games, you're not going to like this game. It is very much one of those. You're basically in a time loop. When you die, you start over. You do get to keep things. Actually, that becomes part of the storyline, which I thought was neat. I mean, if you do like those kind of games, this one's really good. I really like the characters that are in it. The gunplay feels really good. The powers, I mean, this is Dishonored. Like, so many of the powers are stripped straight from that game. It does not rely on stealth, and in fact, it kind of encourages you at times to kill everybody. So that's a good thing. But if you do not like repeating things, the goal of the game is, hey, figure out how you want to do this, come back and do it again, do it better, that kind of thing. You're not going to like this game. But if you do like those kind of games, this is probably one of the better ones.
So you're stuck in a time loop. Does it have a sibling in it?
No, thankfully.
Okay.
Thankfully. There is somebody trying to kill you though, which is cool.
Doesn't it have like the Dark Souls thing where you can invade other people's games and stuff too?
So you can play multiplayer where one person is the person trying to kill you.
Gotcha.
The one that is controlled by AI if you're playing by yourself.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Is it Willem Dafoe?
No, it's not Willem Dafoe, thankfully. Thankfully, Willem Dafoe is not breaking into your house to do murder.
No incest. Okay.
Damn it, Drew.
I'm sorry. At this point, I can't help but think that I have accidentally knocked up my sister.
What the hell of a conversation are we having right now? Oh,
when Drew was posted his time of waiting in the queue, I said if it gets to 12 minutes, you might fuck your sister.
You might fuck your sister.
Jesus Christ. All right, I'm moving on. I'm getting out of this conversation because I don't want to have it anymore. I want to talk about Fist for a minute.
Okay. I'm not gonna say that.
I was hoping that you would rise above the maturity levels I expect for 1 minute. I still like Fist. I still think it's a good game. I think it's got one of the most awful subtitles in history. But that game... So, when I talked about the game last week, I was talking about how the combat's kind of like... It's not like you're going to dodge through people, and there's not like a good parry. Like, there is a parry, but it's kind of only for bullets. So the problem with this game arises as it gets further and further into it, is that the combat is not equipped to handle the enemies that they throw at you. So eventually you're going to run into enemies, like you'll get into a room and there will be an enemy with a shield. There'll be an enemy that's shooting. There'll be an enemy that blocks with a sword and can only be hit with certain types of combat. And when you piece all these things together, like the main character doesn't have the ability to kind of deal with all that stuff as fast as you want to deal with that stuff. So a lot of times you're taking unnecessary hits that you just can't avoid, and it can become frustrating very quickly. Now, the checkpointing is good enough that if you die, it's not a long trek back to where you were in that combat arena, but kind of doing the same fights over and over again and not really being able to... The whole fact that your dash doesn't go through enemies and give you like an invincibility frame, because it does not. And also the fact that your combos can be interrupted because the enemy is not being stunned when you have them in a combo really makes this game frustrating sometimes in the combat portion. And that really became a problem later in the game when it decided it wanted to throw all of these different enemy types at you at the same time. And the fact that they do a fuck ton of damage at times, and your healing option is based on a cooldown, but also a meter. And if you want to heal yourself, you need to be away from people, because it's not just like a press a button, get the health back. You hold the button and it like initiates an animation of your character drinking the carrot juice. And if you get hit during it, it stuns you out of it. So that game has some serious problems when it comes to the combat as you get later into it. And it's definitely soured me on it a little bit, but I still think it's one of the better Metroidvanias that have come out in a long time. So, I'll go through the indie games real quick. I played Blood Rain, Betrayal, Fresh Bites, Way Forward, make that game look really pretty. That game's still very frustrating. If you played the original, it was very hard. It felt like everything hit you. And again, it's kind of in the same vein as Fist. You can be in an attack animation and an enemy can interrupt you constantly, especially when they shoot you. And there's not really a good kind of dodge, invincibility frame kind of move that you can use to get away from it. So you're constantly getting stun locked, and it can make the combat a little frustrating. But it looks really good. Played a game called Hindsight 2020 Wrath of the Rakshasa. Rakshasa. Which, if I remember correctly, it's a development studio that is made up of a bunch of industry veteran teams that kind of left and formed their own. I think there's some BioWare people in there, stuff like that, Sony Santa Monica. It is a third-person action game where it kind of wants to do the like morality thing, where if you kill people, it changes the world of the video of the experience itself. And it seems like it's okay. It looks neat. It runs well. My problem is the combat doesn't feel great. It just, I don't know. There's just something about the combat that it didn't flow very well for me. And then I got to a point where it was like there was these spinning blade things, and your character can't jump, so I couldn't get past it, and it didn't really tell me how to do it. And I was just like, you know what, combat's not good enough for me to keep playing this, so I kind of turned it off. The next game is Tormented Souls, which is an indie survival horror game that feels like the developers really, 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 really loved Resident Evil, because this game feels very much like it. Static camera angles. You can even play with tank controls. It does feel a little more point-and-click puzzle style. So, like, for example, the puzzle in the very first room is a lock. You have to figure out that the lock needs a combination. Once you get the combination, then you have to pull the thing out. And then once you unlock it, you get a pair of, like, pliers. And you have to manually set the pliers, like, length in order to open a door, and you kind of have to select the item and then drag it to the object, kind of like a point-and-click game. It looks good. I do have to say I was kind of awestruck when the game started, because the story involves this girl getting this mysterious letter about these two twins, and then she goes to this mansion, which is where the game takes place, Resident Evil. As soon as she goes in the mansion, she gets knocked out, and then she awakens in a bathtub naked with like a tube shoved down her throat. And the game don't hold it back. Like, she gets up out of the tub and you just see everything. Like, just straight full frontal nudity. And, you know, I was just kind of struck by that because that's crazy. But if you're into those kind of Resident Evil style games, this one's really good. I definitely highly recommend it if you're looking for something like that. Boulder Dash Deluxe, that's a mobile game. Cut through stuff, grab gems, get to end. I got tired after 2-3 levels. Cloud Gardens, you basically pick up trash and plant seeds on signs and the plants grow. I got kind of bored after like 6 or 7 screens. And then The Artful Escape, which is this is the newest game on Game Pass, I think, that was dropped this week. That game is very interesting. It's basically like a puzzle platformer where you can literally at any time just hold down the X button and jam some like fucking Dragon Force riffs. Then some aliens show up and like you go on this space journey ride where you're constantly like wailing on the guitar. That game's pretty cool. If you've got Game Pass, give it a look. Got some solid visual style, got some solid music in it. And I really enjoyed what I did play. And I think that's all I got. That's all the video games that I played. So, there you go.
Video James.
Video games. It's GIF, right? So it's video games.
I guess.
What, it isn't? Are you telling me I was
No.
lied to?
Probably.
It's alright. I feel like I'm lied to on a daily basis, Drew. You know what I'm not going to lie to you about, though?
What's that?
What's coming out this week, baby?
Okay.
If you got one of them newfangled consoles, if you were able to get your hands on one, you can pick up for the Xbox Series X or PS5 this week Arkan the Dog Adventurer, Cat Lateral Damage Remeowstered.
Oh boy.
Like, saying that
Yeah,
out
you like-
loud made me feel dirty.
I do like that one.
Oh, Dustwind, The Last Resort.
Is that all we are?
Dust in the Wind, dude.
That's right.
Titan Chaser. I Am Fish. The Amazing American Circus. Absolov, End of Gods. Origami 2, which is on Game Pass. That is the Tenchu-style cel-shaded ninja game. Nexamon is the Pokemon-style game. And then Tales of Iron. Tales is in Tails. So, as you can imagine, there's some furries in this one. I think you play as a mouse. You play as Mickey Mouse.
Mick Mouse.
Mick Mouse. PlayStation 5 is getting Deathloop. Ever Forward. Hoa. And I think that's... Oh, Toem. Toem is out this week. That's the little black and white picture game.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Yep, that's out on Friday. For the older consoles, we got a lot of the same stuff. We also have Project Winter coming to PlayStation. Flynn, Son of Crimson. Skatebird. That's coming out this week. And the Murder Diaries. For Xbox, we have Merrick's Market. Mr. Pumpkin 2, Kowloon Walled City. Omen of Sorrow, which is that horror fighting game. Drew, I think you reviewed that game.
I did.
That's coming out to Xbox this week, finally. It's only been like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And then Earth Marines is out this week. Because,
It's Marines.
yeah, the Earth Marines, not the Space Marines. Different game.
Great game.
Nintendo Switch. We've got Beat Them All. The Rewinder, Colors Live, Cruising Blast, Hoa, Instant Sports Paradise, Between Time Escape Room, same stuff, Mind Cell.
Okay.
Alright. This is all kind of fucked up. I might have to edit that. What's the number? 59. Alright, I'll keep a number of that. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Hello?
What was the last game I said?
I don't
The
know.
last game I remember you talking about. Shit. Now.
Yep.
Now the last game I can remember you talking about was the Tenchu game, but I know that's not the last game you talked about.
No, you know
Yeah.
what? Fuck it, I'm leaving this in. This is good content.
Hey guys, this is Welcome Behind the Scenes. This
Hey,
is a
guys.
special edition of the N4G podcast, episode 667, where we show you a peek behind what happens
I'm
and
really
how professional we are.
I'm really gonna fuck this up and be like, right now, 55 minutes, 60 minutes in, I'm gonna be like, if you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Smash that notification button.
Hit that bell,
So-
baby.
Remember to hit that bell, so that way you know whenever we get a new video, it comes up.
Drew, it was Fire Emblem.
There you
I
go.
just.
Boy,
it's
this
Fire Emblem
conversation
Three
makes
Houses.
even less sense now because nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
Uh,
I played a lot of Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't remember going for tea with anybody.
well, they have that pastel look. Does
Okay.
that make sense if I say that? Like,
I mean,
the,
sure.
the soft sort of like art style. I'm like, that's not what I put to Fire Emblem, but I haven't played the Switch game. So,
All right, I'm just gonna start here.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
Beyond Enemy Lines Remastered Edition. That's not a Meowstered edition, though. Sorry.
Re-meowstered.
Classical.
Definitive edition either.
That reminds me, I'm playing. I forgot I was also playing Death Stranding Director's Cut, but I can't tell you anything about it.
No.
Is it Death Stranding?
It might be, Drew. Spoiler alert. I'll let you know in 2 weeks when my review comes out.
A 2-week embargo on a director's cut?
I know, right? Well, to be fair, if you when we reviewed Death Stranding, the original one, they gave us like a month and a half, which I totally needed. That game is very long.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'm a huge fan of the long embargo period. We got a really good long review period on Ghost of Tsushima, and that was definitely necessary. So I'm always appreciative of that. It just seems weird to me on a director's cut.
Yeah. I think part of it has to do with some behind the scenes inside baseball stuff, but
Gotcha.
yeah. Classic logical bundle. Eastward and down. No, it's just eastward. Elva the Echo Dragon.
Sweet.
That sounds like a game that would have been on PS1 back in the day.
Absolutely does.
Like trying to hit those animalistic platformer games. Metallic Child. Murder
I wonder what
Diary.
that's about.
What's that?
I wonder what that's about.
I don't know. You can look it up.
Metallic Child sounds like it would be a Sega Saturn game.
It does, like some kind of 2D, like hardcore metal soundtrack or something.
Yes.
Maybe Baby Metal.
Yeah. Murder Diaries. Okay, so we're getting into a little bit more of the what the Switch is becoming known for. We've got Poker Pretty Girls Battle Texas Hold'em.
Fuck. Poker Pretty Battles?
Poker Pretty Girls Battle.
Girls Battle, okay.
Yeah. Push-ups Workout. Razion EX. Skatebird. Dojo Run. Galactic Invasion. Love Colors. Nino Kuni 2. Revenant Kingdom. Princess Edition.
Love Colors, by the way, definitely sounds like it would have been a Barry White album.
Anybody got a Barry White voice?
No.
No. Let me show you my love color.
Oh shit! And then Tales of Iron and Toem are also coming to the Switch. So, man, I went on the Switch this weekend to look and see what came out, and man, there's a lot of horniness in that shop.
I don't even go to that shop anymore unless I'm looking for something specific.
I mean, it's nothing but horny games, and it's fucking slow. Like it loads like a website from fucking AOL from 1997 or something. It's so slow. They need a new eShop. Okay. Alright. So that's what you can play this week. Cruisin' and Deathloop seem to be the highlights. I know Anthony's excited for Toem. Toem?
I'm sure. I'm no idea how to pronounce it. So.
I don't either. All right, there's
You
a
also
lot.
shouldn't come to me about pronunciation on anything. So
I try to avoid it when possible. It was a busy week. The PlayStation Showcase happened, and I got all kind of news from that. You want to go through that first?
Might as well.
Let's do it.
All right. Gran Turismo 7 has a release date. It's coming March 4th, 2022. How many people here believe that is true?
I believe it.
You think?
I think so.
So you think that game is out in 6 months?
I mean, they have been working on it for the past 7 years.
Yeah, but that still seems like a short development cycle for Gran Turismo.
I think we're overlooking it. It comes out, but it is not feature complete.
Boy.
Have they
It
really
comes
been
out like
working on
Street
that
Fighter
long?
5.
When did Gran Turismo Sport come out? For PS4?
I don't remember. I feel like it was 15 or something like that.
2017.
Was it 2017? Really?
So it's
Yep.
only been 4 years. That's why I do not believe that this game comes
Okay.
out.
Oh, I think it
To be
comes out.
fair,
But
we've been stuck in a time loop for the last 18 months.
This
So
is true.
Watch
And
your
I-
record.
And I don't even have a sister
God damn it, Drew.
that I know of.
They showed a new
well,
trailer.
that might lead to the problem.
Oh, crap. I totally forgot I killed my father that time.
Wait, do you hear that? Willem Dafoe's knocking on your door.
hmm
So I'm here to talk about you knocking up your sister.
Hello, Mr. Parker. Oh, I mean, wait, wrong movie.
I'm something of a sister knocker up on myself.
That's right.
It's gross.
These are my favorite conversations. All right. Sony Santa Monica finally named it officially and showed us a trailer for God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It's got Fat Thor in it.
Fat Thor.
Fat Thor. I love it.
He looked fat at the end of the first game.
Well, he had a big cloak on, so it was
That's
covering.
true.
It was covering the fat.
That's covering it, yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but this game caused all kinds of controversy on the internet.
Why?
Because of Fat Thor?
No, Fat Thor was heralded. That was a highlight.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat real quick. So a couple controversies came out of this. Number one, people were pissed. They said, it looks like DLC. Why are we getting this? Why are we not getting just DLC? Why is this a sequel?
What?
And I was like, are you fucking high?
Because it's gonna be a long,
Yeah, do you
gonna
remember
be a
how
long-ass
long the
game.
first game was?
Who the fuck says this is DLC?
A lot of people. There was even like this video floating around, which, by the way, just a
Is this a
note.
bunch of Xbox dumbasses?
No, it's actually some PlayStation dumbasses.
What?
Yeah, go figure. The first thing I want to say is when somebody has a really bad take, like, I don't know if y'all saw the Xbox developer versus PlayStation developer tweet.
No.
There
Well,
are two ladies
I
that
don't-
work at PlayStation and Xbox. One of them is young and, very attractive. The other one is an older lady.
I don't root around the garbage, so no, I didn't see that tweet.
It was, dude, people that I respect were retweeting that, and I'm like, why the fuck are you amplifying this voice?
Maybe you shouldn't respect them.
I don't know. I was just like, so you're comparing this. The console wars have come down to looks now of people that work at these companies. Like that's what
Because
that.
they dish around about the people that are playing the games.
Yeah, I mean, but anyway. So the other thing was like some dude tweeted this picture of like the animation of Kratos getting in the boat, and they're like, "Look, these motherfuckers even reused animations." I'm like, "Yeah, it's called a long development cycle, and this shit is hard."
Yeah. You're not going to recreate the animation of him getting in a boat.
They
Who gives
reused
a
the
shit?
Why would you
animation. Like
do that?
fucking hell. Good lord.
I can't
There's
believe
certain
there's a new
places
God
where
of
I'm just
War
like-
game, and people are mad.
Guys, I don't know if you know this. Ryu has been doing the same fucking Shoryuken since the Super Nintendo. Get the fuck over yourself, guys.
Oh my god, people fight too much about these things, and it just It drives me crazy. All right. Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy are coming to PS5 and PC.
Cool. I haven't played Lost Legacy. I beat Uncharted 4 actually not too long ago, about a year ago. So
Lost Legacy is secretly one of the best Uncharted games.
yeah, that's what I've heard.
Also weird that it's just 4 and Lost Legacy. Like, what about the collection? It's
None
just,
for you.
Later date, maybe.
maybe. It just seems weird. It also that announcement felt like a wet fart, didn't it? Like it just came in the middle with like no fanfare.
Yeah.
I mean, they're two older games. I mean,
Well, especially considering their last remaster announcement was Demon Souls last year, or whenever that was. It wasn't last year. Maybe it was last year.
That was a remake.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was their last remaster.
That doesn't really count.
Well, I mean, that's what this is. It's just PS5 upping it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like
yeah.
Demon Souls is like a whole new fucking game.
Yeah,
it is.
So, like this feels more akin to like Ghost of Tsushima. Where it's
Spider-Man.
just like getting a higher resolution, better frame rate, maybe some DualSense stuff. That'd be my guess. Blood Hunt, the Vampire the Masquerade like battle royale game.
Is this what happened to the second game?
No, that's a different game.
So this is
that's
actually
still in
happening?
development.
Okay, I figured this was like, they just scrapped it and made something else.
Nope,
No,
In fact, I think there's 3 games in development.
it wouldn't
boy.
shock me. Isn't there like a secret point-and-click Vampire the Masquerade game coming out like every other week or something?
Well, no, they're the visual novel stuff, like
Okay.
their text adventures. Yeah, let me just double check. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I feel like I see a Vampire the Masquerade visual novel game like once a month or something. They're like Warhammer games, except not as frequent.
Yeah, so we're waiting for Bloodlines 2.
Two.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is in development hell, right?
Yes. And the other one is a role-playing game in development by Big Bad Wolf, don't know them, called Swan Song. Vampire the Masquerade Swan Song, because that series is Creature and then The Blank. Hunter, The Reckoning, which is also from the same Worlds of Darkness series. Werewolf, The
Was a good
Apocalypse, which then is every game has to have a subtitle after that.
Yeah.
So
I had completely forgot about Hunter.
Hunter the Reckoning needs to come
The
back.
Reckoning. I like that game a lot.
There were 3 of those games.
Oh,
Never
was it
heard of
really?
them.
I only remember the first one.
There's 2 on Xbox, and then there was 1 on PS2.
Man, I only remember the one on Xbox.
the Hunter the Reckoning on PS2 is you wouldn't recognize it because it's like got a very different logo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or that's the one where it's. Oh, sorry. There's 2 of them. I was thinking Wayward, which is PlayStation 2. The Xbox GameCube one has the character in front of the jail cells in the shadow or silhouette.
That was the
And
second one. The first one was just Hunter the Reckoning, which was only
Yeah,
on
that-
Xbox.
No. The first one was on Xbox and GameCube. The second one, which was Wayward, which is the one I was thinking of, is PlayStation 2 by High Voltage as well. And then Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer is on Xbox only.
Okay. I knew it was confusing where they all were, but I do remember there being 3 of them.
Yeah, the first one's the only one I remember.
The first
I
one you
did
can
enjoy that
play
game.
on Xbox Series. It's back compat.
Is it really?
Yeah, but I don't think you can play the first or the second one. I know the first one you can because I've played it on my Xbox One and my Series X.
Interesting.
So
I've never played any of these games. This is based on a tabletop game, like an RPG.
Yeah, it's the vampire universe.
yeah, same universe. And this game is like I don't want to call it Diablo style, but that's probably the closest you can get to. Like it's a top-down perspective action adventure game with like different character classes.
So it's kind of like Brotherhood of Steel. Whenever Fallout went kind of action RPG.
There's no real any RPG in it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's the World of Darkness is the kind of Dungeons and Dragons sort of overview name, right?
Okay.
But then you have Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse. Those two have games. Mage the Ascension, which does not. Wraith the Oblivion, which I think was supposed to have a game. Changeling the Dreaming, and then Hunter the Reckoning. Oh, and sorry, Demon the Fallen.
Jeez.
The very first Vampire the Masquerade game was Vampire the Masquerade Redemption, which was, I think, just PC.
This is a big universe,
down, right?
No, it's not. It's not top down. It's like it's 3/4, but you can adjust the camera as well. It was good. It was. I mean, it was a typical early 2000s PC RPG.
Yeah, it's a big universe. Ghostwire Tokyo, new trailer for that. I still don't know necessarily what that game is, but I want to play it.
It's like a first-person magic game.
Yeah, like it's creepy as shit too, man.
You can tell that there's a lot of like different types of like Japanese ghost lore in it.
Yeah, like that game is one of the most interesting games, and I hope when it comes out of what kind of game it is that it does not use the words rogue or Dark Souls like. Like, can we just have a fucking video game? Like,
No,
please?
absolutely not.
Fuck you then. GTA 5 for PS5 and Series X was delayed to March. So
I really need Rockstar to make something else.
they're not going to. They're making too much money, buddy.
I know.
So much money off GTA.
Isn't every month GTA 5 is like one of the top selling games?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but
God.
was it John? Somebody explained the trick of it to me. Where like they sell it, but it's only gets up there because like people aren't buying the game; they're just buying another copy of the game because they come with shark cards, and the shark cards with the game are less than the shark cards themselves.
It's insane. That's so crazy dumb, guys.
But it's a sale, so it doesn't matter, right?
I mean, it's crazy that game. I mean, you gotta respect it at this point. Like Mario Kart 8 and GTA 5 are like the two biggest video games I've ever seen in my life. Like it's crazy.
Still has one of my
Minecraft.
I mean, Minecraft is still big, but I don't think it's GTA or like not right now. Like Minecraft is just like perpetually big. But like zeitgeist-wise, man, is there anything bigger than GTA 5? It's crazy.
Probably not. And they have my favorite update name ever, Cunning Stunts.
That's pretty funny.
That is such a. I remember watching the trailer and being like, "That's really cool," and then the name came up and I was like, "Jesus."
It's funny. Alan Wake Remastered was there as well, so we kind of got confirmation a couple days before on an Alan Wake fan site, but now we got to see some trailer at the PlayStation Showcase.
Yep.
The game is coming to PlayStation for the first time, which is cool.
Yeah.
They showed a new trailer for Forspoken, which continues to look impressive. I'm very interested in that game.
Which one is Forspoken again?
That's the Unreal game with the girl that goes through like the portal to the fantasy world, fight dragons. She's got the thing around her wrist.
Yeah, okay. That one looked cool.
Yeah.
That's the first time I'd ever seen that game.
Yeah. Oh, they've shown that game before.
Okay, I had never seen that before, so...
That was a cool game. The other game...
Is that a PlayStation exclusive?
Yes, that is a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Okay.
The other game you might have been thinking of was the Project Eve game.
That's the Japanese anime looking one, right?
Yes, where the girl's like fighting all the big demon monsters.
For the longest time, I was thinking it was a Nier game because she has a little robot that follows her around. I was like, okay, this is another Nier game?
I tell you what, that trailer was very horny. Like they zoomed in on her butt a lot.
I don't know if I want to play that game.
It looks really good, but at the same time, it felt really kind of dirty. Like the combat looks really awesome, and again, I swear to God, if it comes out that this is a Souls-like or some shit like that, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm getting tired of video games not just being fucking video games. Come on, man. I know I just pissed off so many people. I don't care. I like just straight like action adventure video games that don't have any bullet points that talk about other game styles. Not everything has to be a roguelike. Not everything has to be a Souls-like. It's okay just to be a video game. Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah.
Who's making that?
So that's the thing. It's being made by a company called Aspire.
And who is Aspire?
So you may have seen some of their work recently. They ported Episode 1 Racer and Jedi Knight and Stubbs the Zombie.
Okay.
Basically, they port old games from that era to this era.
You should also note that I believe that they were the people that did a lot of Mac porting.
A lot of what
So-
porting?
Mac, like Macintosh computers.
Oh,
Apple.
you keep breaking up when you say Mac, and it's like
Yeah, there's something about the word Mac in your.
It's not allowed. But that's what they did for a long time. Like, if you look at their list of titles, back in '97, they started porting to Mac OS.
Hmm.
Just cut out again.
No, it worked that time.
Okay.
so.
Yeah. So like, oh, sorry. I'm just going through like everything that you could think of, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters. They did all that. So
Yeah, this remake is weird because nobody knows exactly when it's coming to anything else because they announced it as a PS5 exclusive. It's published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. They've confirmed it's coming to PC, but they use the phrase console launch exclusive, which usually means it comes to other things later.
Yeah. So I would assume probably a year on PlayStation 5 and PC, and then eventually comes the Xbox.
And by the time it comes to Xbox, it'll be in Game Pass.
Yeah. It's just I hate these deals worse than I hate just saying we hired somebody to make this game for our system.
Yeah.
Because people are still waiting. Square was so vague about Final Fantasy VII Remake that people still think it's coming to Xbox. I believe it's not at this point.
I mean, probably not. I mean,
Like, just say that up front, you know? Like, this whole wording and exclusive deals and you know, it's on everybody. Like, you know, Microsoft has a bunch of these that they've got going. Like, you remember the Stalker conversation? They're like, well, it's only exclusive for 6 months. We found the documentation. It's like, well, then just fucking say that.
yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, you telling me that Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out on Xbox 2 years after it's coming to PlayStation is not going to make me not play it on PlayStation if I want to play it that goddamn bad.
Yeah. I don't know. It's at the same time, Microsoft bought Bethesda.
They did, but that was just a straight purchase. Like, I got no problem when you just like, Insomniac games are exclusive to PlayStation. I don't question it. That was a hell of a good purchase. I don't expect those games to come to Xbox. You want to play those games, you buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Straight across the board, like, no question about it. What's funny though is like Microsoft bought Bethesda and there's still question about it. Elder Scrolls is coming to PlayStation, right? Starfield's coming to PlayStation, right? Spider-Man's coming to Xbox, right?
Yeah. That's it better.
don't you know that the fucking Abandoned is really secretly Hideo Kojima?
Yeah.
I won't let go of that fucking thought process because I don't have anything between my ears.
Yeah. I will play a KOTOR remake. I am cautiously optimistic about this KOTOR remake. Because literally the only thing they gave me was Bastila Shan's voice and a picture of Darth Revan.
Yes.
So you've shown me nothing.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, there's probably not a ton. I mean, it's mostly going to be visual, I would guess, the changes and the upgrades.
I hope so. I hope they don't... What if they turn it into like a Final Fantasy VII remake situation where they change the gameplay?
Yeah.
What, be an action game?
Yeah.
It better be good if they're going to do that.
Yeah. Because KOTOR is still playable on just about everything, and it's still fucking fantastic.
Yep, and you know what? I'm going to support this game, and you know why I'm going to support this game? Because the more I support this, the more likely they'll be like, you know what? What's another game from that generation that we might be able to remake? How about we remake Jade Empire?
You can stop that. You can stop that right now.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing about this is KOTOR Remake is not at all being worked on by BioWare.
Right.
Yeah. Who even owns the rights to Jade Empire? Microsoft?
Microsoft, yeah, it's a first-party game.
Why don't they make a sequel or something?
I mean,
I don't know.
Microsoft sucks. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like all of the cool IP, that they have from the golden days, like Jade Empire, Conquer, Banjo,
Crimson Skies,
MechAssault, like all of that stuff. Like they don't do anything with it. Like we got a Conquer in fucking Project Spark.
Yeah.
Like
I
Microsoft.
mean, you can, dude. If you seriously think about this, I know BioWare's not the company they used to be, but if they announced Jade Empire 2 co-developed with BioWare, that would get some people talking.
It gets some people talking, but you also remember BioWare's making a new Dragon Age and a new Mass Effect right now, so they're kind of busy.
I know, but man, how about this? Oh man, wait a minute. How about this? Jade Empire 2, developed by Obsidian Entertainment.
I mean, I'd be 100% down for that.
Oh hell yeah,
I'd be
I
down
would.
for that.
And Microsoft owns Obsidian, so let's go.
Bingo, bango, bongo. We've already got a hit game on our hands.
Yeah,
Do it.
I respect that Microsoft is letting all these companies that they bought make what they want to make. I do. I really respect that. But god damn, like, license out this stuff and let people... Like, that's the same way with Square. I know we joke about it all the time, but, like, Square, license out Legacy of Kain and let a motherfucker make that game. Like,
Yes.
you're bringing back so much shit that nobody wants, and you're not bringing back shit people really want. Speaking of things people really want, can we just agree that Insomniac is kind of carrying Sony's balls right now? God damn.
Yeah.
Whew, first we saw the fucking Wolverine trailer. Like,
As soon as I saw the bar,
as soon as I saw
I
the
knew that's
flannel
what it
shirt,
was.
yeah, like the flannel shirt, I was like, this is Wolverine. Holy shit, Insomniac's doing Wolverine. It's going to be so good.
it's going to be so good.
All right, so here's are they going to make it mature?
Dude, he had blood on his hand in the trailer.
Yeah, it's got to be mature.
Yeah.
Do you remember that X-Men Origins Wolverine
That
game?
game was awesome, dude.
That game
game was good.
fucking awesome, yeah.
Yeah, like I wish I could still play that game. That game is like not playable anywhere, but god damn, that game was good. Yeah, I mean, Insomniac, you are unbelievable. Like, that's what I was referring to earlier when I said that Sony basically stole Insomniac for what, the $290 million or whatever they paid for them.
Yeah.
I mean, the PlayStation 5 is what it is, in my opinion, because of Insomniac. Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank, Wolverine, and then our next one, Spider-Man 2!
Yeah.
Oh, that trailer.
You think that's Craven?
I guarantee it's Craven.
It
Yeah.
sounded like a Craven voiceover, and then you see Venom, and it's both Peter and Miles, and it's like, god damn.
Yep. Yeah, I'm over the moon for that one. I can't wait.
I
Yeah,
still have yet to play Spider-Man.
dude, those two games.
You haven't played it at all?
No.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
still in the Saran wrap, dude.
Dude, that game is so good.
Yeah,
Insomniac.
both those games.
Insomniac is the biggest steal of a developer being purchased by somebody. God damn.
Yeah, for sure.
Whew. I just hope at some point, and I said this on Twitter, I just hope at some point we don't hear a story come out that they basically like kill their workers or something. Like that would make me so sad.
Yeah.
But
Nothing from Sucker Punch announced, huh?
Sucker Punch just finished up Ghosts of Tsushima Iki Island, so
Yeah.
I kind of
I gotta
expect
imagine
them.
they're working on a sequel at this point.
Yeah, I think Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to be a thing. It wouldn't
You think
surprise
that's-
me if it was a different character.
You don't think they'll ever go back to Infamous?
Nah. I think
No.
Infamous
I
is
don't
dead.
think so. Yeah, I think now that Sony has an actual superhero or has multiple actual superheroes under their umbrella, I can't imagine they'll go back to Infamous.
Wouldn't it
I
be
think
wild if they could get like a crossover thing?
I
That
think
would be pretty
DC
crazy.
might have some hand in publishing that, so I don't think it would happen. because they published the infamous comic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Huh.
I don't know if you saw this, Wombat, with the little Easter egg in the Wolverine trailer. Did you see it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
The
Maybe
license
not.
plate?
No, I didn't see it. What's it say?
It says HLK. It's a reference to the Hulk.
Oh, Hulk. Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, a lot of people caught that real quick that the Hulk's name is in it, so maybe he's like a boss fight or something?
I mean, that was the first appearance of Wolverine.
Yeah.
Mash squared burst out of the chest as Old Man Logan.
Dude, those...
Yeah, I'm super excited for that game.
I
don't know
am...
if you remember, but the reason I said as soon as I saw the bar, I knew it was going to be a Wolverine game is, I don't know if you remember, but is it Ultimate Spider-Man on Xbox where you fight Wolverine at the very beginning
It might
in a bar?
be...
There's one of those Spider-Man games where you're.
It's either that or it's Web of Shadows.
I didn't play Web of Shadows, so I'm
Okay,
pretty
well then
sure
it's
Ultimate. Let me
Ultimate
look.
Spider-Man. Because you fight Electro right at the beginning of Ultimate, I think.
I
See,
don't
I
remember.
just
I just
remember.
know those games... Some of those games were really good. Yeah, a Wolverine game by Insomniac Games coming to PS5. And by the way, PS5 only for Wolverine and Spider-Man 2. So...
I think that's because they're far ways away.
Yeah, like I think Spider-Man's 2022 and Wolverine's 2023.
Yeah. What am I gonna say to that? Like, it'd be crazy to keep at that point. Why'd you make a new console?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'll tell you what that would tell me if I didn't have a PS5 is motherfucker, I gotta get a PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The what would be really cool? They released Spider-Man 2. Have a DLC. One of the DLCs is bringing Wolverine in.
Man,
It wouldn't surprise me.
if they
Get ready
continue,
for Wolverine.
if they continue to do this and like do more of them, it's gonna be so good.
Why not get them to do an Avengers game?
Yeah, right. Like
Well,
this.
I mean, the Avengers Tower is already in Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
That tower is better than the Marvel Avengers game from Square Enix.
Well, and he references the Avengers several times, like in the when you're around the tower. Both Peter and Miles have what do they call it? Like emergent dialogue or whatever that'll reference the Avengers.
How is the licensing going for that? So does Square own the license to the Avengers video games?
It sounds like we were listening to Drew's podcast at like quarter speed.
That's just me talking.
So licensing with Disney's been weird because they sort of picked up that, like, why are we licensing stuff to single developers? I think they kind of caught on when EA had a big Star Wars fallout.
Yeah, and Disney's definitely spreading the love because we've got that Midnight Suns game going to 2K, and I've heard rumblings that Marvel's got other games in the
But
works.
I mean, like, if you look at Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which
that
is
was
Nintendo
Nintendo.
And
But
who's doing
it
Guardians of
has-
the Galaxy?
Square.
But so they're not unwilling to have characters, like, because Ultimate Alliance 3 has Spider-Man and has Avengers characters.
Yep.
So it's not like it's clearly like, if you're going to make a Spider-Man game, only Sony can make a Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that's part of the licensing deal that Sony and Disney have because Sony's got the Spider-Man rights.
Yeah, my expectation is out there as this is, and I would have actually pegged this as a better likelihood than I would have pegged the Wolverine game. I was pleasantly surprised they were making a Wolverine game because I expected the next crossover from those guys into the Spider-Man universe was going to be Daredevil.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it
Is he
would have been the
referenced
same.
on it?
Yeah, there's a couple of references to Daredevil. I think it's actually more of a reference to Matt Murdock.
Well, isn't
Yeah.
like that the rumor in the Spider-Man trailer that that's his arm? Like that's Matt Murdock's arm in the Spider-Man trailer?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, like there's a scene where he's talking to like a lawyer, and then you only see his arm, and he's got like the rolled up, button-up shirt, and people are like,
You
"That's
talking
Matt
in the
Murdock."
in the first game?
No, in the new movie trailer for the movie that's coming out in
Oh.
December.
I gotcha. Yeah, I haven't seen the first two movies. So.
Oh shit, God! Well, I don't want to spoil. Like the third movie's going to open up a whole bunch of shit in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I know. I saw the trailer. I tried to avoid it, but I saw it and got enough from it that I kind of understand where everything sits.
Yeah, I mean, when the villain in the last movie was Mysterio, you kind of knew that's.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, just based on the fact that they've got, a fully realized New York already built, and they've already had major missions in both the original Spider-Man and in Miles Morales that reference the Kingpin. It feels to me like eventually that series is going to have at least an appearance by Daredevil.
I think he would have. I think Daredevil, not to invoke another series from the different comic book publisher, but I think Daredevil would be a better character to have, like the Catwoman and Batman in Arkham City.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a good couple side missions.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I don't think he's got enough. Not as a character, but I don't think he's different enough from Spider-Man and how you'd be able to play as him. Really, like he's gonna be acrobatic through the city, and obviously he doesn't have web shooters. Like you're gonna explore New York as him, like but if you brought him in as his own character, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and instead of stealth missions, you could do lawyer missions as Matt Murdock.
I think the rating would have to go up.
It'd just be a
if playing
Phoenix Wright simulation.
Exactly.
You know what? A Phoenix Wright game where you inevitably beat up the guy that gets free anyways would be great.
I'm sorry, but the best thing that Phoenix Wright ever did was make a Harvey Birdman game.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It sucks that it's only on the Wii, but no, it was on the PS2 as well, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And PSP.
Well, we don't count PSP.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
What I am most excited about in the Wolverine game is to see who else we get appearances by.
I really think
I'm pretty-
they're hinting at the Hawk. I definitely think we
Yeah.
see the Hawk.
And I'm reasonably confident they're not going to make a Wolverine game and not have Sabretooth in it. So I would guess he's going to be there as a bad guy. I really hope that they have Nightcrawler make an appearance since they're
Okay, can we just say this
Close.
before we move on? Can we just go full circle and make an Insomniac open world Hawk game?
yes, like Ultimate Destruction.
Yep, Ultimate Destruction 2, but Insomniac's making it on the PS5.
So here's the thing. Obviously, Spider-Man takes place in New York. Where would the Wolverine game take place if it's going to be an open world?
I don't think it'll be open
could-
world, but it'll be in
Doesn't
Canada, I would assume.
It can take place anywhere, really, because it's not like Wolverine doesn't have world travels. It could take place in Japan.
Yeah, they could have it. They could have it. I'm really curious as to what they're going to. I wonder if they're going to do like flashbacks to his time in the past.
Side
what
missions
they're gonna
like
do.
during olden times or something.
Yeah, like during World War II or Civil War or whatever.
I mean, that'd be cool. I
He's
would
been
much
there.
rather this Wolverine game be like a linear, like not open world, and just do like level to level, and each level's kind of a different thing. Like do flashbacks and then stuff like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, Wolverine doesn't really lend itself, I don't think, necessarily to an open world because none of his powers are really built around traversal.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Like claw
No.
your way up a building or something?
Yeah,
I would imagine that would be the case.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
kind of stupid. I think.
yeah, I'm not really a fan of that.
Right.
What I am very curious about is whether Venom in the new Spider-Man game is purely an antagonist, or if there are going to be missions that you play as Venom as well.
I don't know. It'll be. Let's
So,
just say there's going to
This
be.
is not to spoil anything about the first two Spider-Man games since Drew hasn't played them yet, but this is a different Venom. Like this is a different origin for Venom than
So it's not Eddie Brock.
it is
No.
not Eddie Brock.
Is
At
Eddie
least not.
in
At
the
least,
game?
I don't recall them referencing Eddie Brock in the original 2 Spider-Man games at all.
Really?
If they did,
this
it was a small throwaway comment, but
Now,
I
to
don't
be-
think he did.
To be fair, that's an assumption based on the stinger at the end of the first game, and it's not that long. The stinger isn't. So there's nothing that says that there couldn't be multiple people with the symbiote, but based on the stinger ending at the end of Spider-Man 1, this does appear to be a different origin for this Venom.
Okay.
All right, just a couple
And
quick.
what I believe, by the way, is a much more interesting origin for Venom compared to
I
Eddie
mean-
Brock.
I mean, like, they've been playing fast and loose with Venom for a while now anyways. So,
Sure.
Because the Venom movie doesn't have Spider-Man, so how the fuck does he have all Spider-Man's powers?
Yeah.
All right.
In the comics, quickly, in the comics they did King in Black, which is like the origin of the symbiotes, and like, there's no backstory for Venom anymore.
Yeah, I've read up on that King in Black stuff, and it doesn't seem all that good to me.
No, it's not.
Well, they can do anything. It's a free country. It's not rent-free country.
Okay. We're going to do some quick news hits here to close this out. The Apple Epic lawsuit came down. There were 10 different lawsuits. Epic won. And somehow the narrative online was, oh my god, Epic did it.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
They made it so that you can now link out to external sources to buy things, but everything else Apple won. So there's that.
that's going to hurt Apple enough that, like, they won in the grand scheme of things, because Apple didn't win fully.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Now, like, we're looking at just Epic, but like every other developer, I can get 70% of the money after the initial download, or 100% of the money after the initial download. So why wouldn't I get 100%? Like, Apple does nothing; they just take 30%. So, yeah, I totally understand why this is going to be a big problem for Apple.
I think they get out ahead of it and do it before they have to, and just kind of make themselves look good. It's my guess. I don't know. This whole thing is just beyond me. I'm not a lawyer, so. I know we were joking about it earlier this week, but there were so many rumors around that PlayStation Showcase, and like absolutely zero of them came true, which I thought was hilarious.
It's almost as if we shouldn't believe those people.
But I do still believe that there is a Twisted Metal game in development. I continue to hear that it's going to be around the time that the TV series comes out, which would make sense. I just wonder what kind of game that is at this point. Like, is it a multiplayer game? Is it a single-player game? Like, what is it? Because that last one that was multiplayer-focused kind of sucked. So, Sony also acquired a new developer, Fire Sprite. And they say they've got some new projects in the works. Don't know much about that. And the last news story that I've got, hey y'all, can Far Cry 6 get any crazier? I think it can. So they announced some new DLC for Far Cry 6 that will be free to the game post-launch. It includes a collaboration with Stranger Things, a Rambo DLC, and Danny Trejo driving a taco truck. What the fuck's going to happen with Far Cry 6? I don't know, but I kind of want to play it.
Yeah. That's a day one for me.
Yeah, that game seems wacky in the right kind of wacky ways. All right. That is all the news I got. Unless anybody's got anything else, I'm going to hop over and do some emails.
Nope.
All right. I got an email from Daryl, and the email is entitled Bon Appetit.
Oh,
He says, hello, guys. Sorry for the long email. Brace yourselves.
okay.
Okay, I listened to your podcast about the guy who ate peanut butter, sardine, and pickle sandwiches, and it made me think of my own experiences.
Oh, boy.
Ever since I was a kid, my dad would make peanut butter, dill pickle, and mayo sandwiches. Ever since then, I would make these every month or so. They're great. My father passed away last year, and in his honor, I offer you a challenge. Go around the room /podcast and say if you like the 3 ingredients separately. Peanut butter, dill pickle, think hamburger chips pickles, and mayo. If you hate any of those, then you are out. But if you do, I want you to try a small sandwich, PB on one side, mayo on the other, and a layer of dill chips in the middle. Take at least one big bite and report back next week with the results. I want you to try a small sandwich. Oh, sorry, I'm on the same sentence. Take at least one big bite and report back. I guarantee you will love it. The sweetness of the peanut butter, the tanginess of the pickles, and the smoothness of the mayo all complement each other. I offer the same challenge to listeners, and please report back. I've had too many people scoff at this, saying it's disgusting without trying it. I understand.
Mayo's gross.
He says, I understand this if they hate the ingredients, but if not, shut up. It turns out from Wiki, the peanut butter and mayo sandwich was popular from the 1930s to the 60s and seems to have come out of the struggles families faced during the Great Depression. Please try it out and let us know. So does anybody here actually like all 3 of those ingredients?
I do.
I'm not a big fan of mayo, but I will eat mayo on a sandwich. So I don't know. I would probably try it. I also am not. I like dill pickles, but I like sweet pickles better.
I prefer sweet pickles as well.
Oh,
But
the
I
sweet
like
pickles bus is back.
Yeah, I can totally do it with like bread and butter pickles.
Okay, so Drew and Ryan are going to try the sandwich for next week, right?
Sure.
If I've got mayo in the house, I'll
Okay,
try it.
'cause
know
I don't
that
like-
actually have mayo or dill pickles in the house.
I don't like pickles or mayo, so I'm out.
Pickles pickles I'm not a fan of, but I can deal with. Mayo is a no-go.
Yeah, mayo's disgusting to me. I don't like it.
Sorry, yeah, no.
Absolutely love mayo.
Yeah,
Oops.
I like mayo on like a turkey sandwich, but like mayo in chicken salad. But
I straight up put it on my burgers. I love it.
yeah, I'm not huge on mayo on a burger. I guess I don't mind it at like Burger King or something, but generally speaking, I'm not. Like I wouldn't be excited about eating something that had mayo on it just because it had mayo on it.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do peanut butter, mayo, and dill pickle sandwich. I will eat the whole sandwich and I will report back.
All right.
Yeah, I'll try it if I've got the stuff. I don't know if I have that stuff in my house, and I'm certainly not going to go to the store and buy that stuff just for the sandwich. But if I've got the stuff in the house,
I have everything on that list. I don't know if I have sandwich bread, but I may.
of all the things not to have.
Yeah.
All right. Second part of his email says, as far as games go, I've been playing Psychonauts 2, which is a breath of fresh air. The Ascent, which is a solid shooter, and a lot more fun the more you get into it. And also a lot of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I bought the expansions a couple years back, but I've only put about 25 hours into the game. I feel like I barely scratched the surface. I'm level 15. You have. So since it is the best Ass Creed game, I'm going to try to finish it. Since there are only a couple other big games coming out this year, Halo Infinite and Far Cry 6. Anyway, take care and happy eating. All right, well, we'll find out next week how that turned
Yeah,
out.
I'll let you know if I've got the stuff, I will check it out.
Jesus Christ, people send us like novel-size emails. God damn. All right.
They love us, Ken.
What's that?
I said they love us, Ken.
I'm telling you. So this next email comes from Sajad. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He says, hey guys, before I get to my questions, I just want to start off with an apology to my man Anthony. Yes, it was me who contacted Ken years ago on Xbox and complained about Anthony back when he was a creep pup.
I'm sorry. It is my, out of all the hate that I've received, some of it rightfully, that was the one that I always laughed at. Not because it was just because you did it over Xbox Live, and I love it.
Okay.
And Ken's just playing some game and it pops up. Kick Anthony up.
Okay, Anthony.
All right, he says, back when he was a green pup on the show. However, after listening to the show these past few years, I have to say Anthony is my favorite person on the show now.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
Oh shit!
He says his commitment to actually showing up on the show each week, even when sometimes feeling sick, has to be commended. Not only that,
That's right. Hold on. Fuck you, Drew. Ryan, I understand.
This is an Anthony love letter. It's getting crazy over here.
I've gotten one.
He says,
Yay.
not only that, but he tends to play most of the games being discussed on each of the latest episodes, or at least will have enough background knowledge to have interesting discussion about it. I also tend to agree with a lot of his points on certain things about the gaming industry and game reviews in general, much to my surprise, as I loathed the man some time back. I guess I never really thought about the pressure of being on a podcast does to a newbie when talking among seasoned vets. Well, that's an interesting way to describe the rest of us.
That's true, though. I mean, we've been doing this
Seasoned
thing
with-
for 15 years. So,
Seasoned with mayo.
you know, we all used to talk a lot about the most recent games that were out back, before we had kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think it's also fair, though, to say that, like, you also talked about games, a lot of the new games, when there was only, like, 10 a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot more
It's-
than 10 now.
I also host a podcast where we play old games.
It's true.
Well, the new one was new. True.
This next one's going to be new.
What's the next one?
Diablo.
Okay.
Well, it's new old.
New old, yeah.
Yeah.
He says, and while he didn't get it right in the beginning, he's definitely come a long way and took the reins of being a great co-host while others are stuck in Bosnia or mowing their lawns during the recording.
Mhm.
He says, I guess what I'm trying to say... What the fuck? I guess what I'm trying to say is, if Ken gets hit by a truck tomorrow, I vote for Anthony to take over the show as the main host. Just kidding. I love you all. On to the questions.
Well, it would just be me some days, so I don't know if you want that at all. Also, I don't think we're hosting the podcast if Ken gets, like, fucking run over.
If I get run over, I don't want to get run
You're gonna
over.
have some more concerns.
Yeah, I don't even think the site is like, what's gonna happen to the site? I
He
don't
gets hit by a truck, and while he's laying there bleeding out, he says, "Make sure Anthony records next week."
know. You guys better record next week. All right, question number 1. What are some of the big games you guys missed out on and had to rush through to make it in time before the sequel came out? Also, did it negatively impact your opinion about said game? For example, I always hear great things about Psychonauts back in the day, but never took the time to even start it. So it's only after hearing great things about Psychonauts 2 that I've decided to finish the first one in 3 days so I could play the sequel, but felt underwhelmed. So hard to get into games that are 2 generations old, regardless of how critically acclaimed they are. Are there any sequels you were interested in but never played the prequel and had to finish said prequel to play the newer game?
No More Heroes. I mean, Psychonauts for me recently. I didn't blast through it in 3 days, mind you, which I think would ruin that experience. But Psychonauts is a little bit harder to be like, because I don't know which version was played, but like that's a big problem too. I think the PC version's the best version to play, and then followed by the Xbox / Game Pass version on like a newer Xbox console. With the worst version being that's readily accessible, the PS4 PlayStation 2 Classic version, which just runs terribly, because it's just the PS2 game, and the PS2 game ran terribly. So, if you played that version, I definitely understand not being wowed by anything that it does, because the frame rate drops. But yeah, No More Heroes. I was trying to pump through that as quick as possible, and it ain't happening. I mean, I do that with a lot of games. Like, I'm behind on Yakuza. And then Judgment 2 is coming out soon, and it's like, good lord.
Yeah, I think these are all going to have to be backlog for me. Like, the Yakuza games are a big one. And to be fair, I never finished any of them before I jumped into Like a Dragon. But thankfully, I didn't need to play other stuff before Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
So
I did it with The Witcher. So Matt and I both sat down and watched the trailer, the first big story trailer for The Witcher 3, where they're like showing off like how you hunt stuff. And I was like, God, I really want to play that game. So for Phoenix Down, we went back and played The Witcher 1, which I'm going to be honest with you is not advisable at all. That game is hard to go back to.
Did you play the enhanced version?
Yes, we played the enhanced version.
Ooh, okay.
I played it while it was still the most recent Witcher game, and I can go back to it, but I can understand if you are just trying to go back to it clean now. It doesn't hold up that well.
Yeah. And then we played The Witcher 2, which was a way better experience, but that game's still kind of rough in spots.
It's got some rough spots to it, but it's
Yeah.
still one of my favorite games of last generation,
And then we switched back
or 2 generations ago, I should say.
about 2 generations now. But and then we didn't play The Witcher 3 until like 2 years after it came out.
Yeah, that happens. Oh, yeah. I don't think I have anything other than the Yakuza stuff, and I still haven't finished it. So
Yeah. I played Assassin's Creed Origins because I wanted to play Odyssey. I had a pretty good time with that game.
Odyssey's even better.
Yeah. I don't know when I'll ever play it, though.
That's true. All right. There's 5 questions, so I'm gonna get on the next one. Question number 2. We heard in the past about places you guys would like to travel to someday, but what places have you guys visited that you were underwhelmed by after visiting? I recently went to New York City after getting my vaccine shots last month and was a little let down by the experience. Not sure if it's because of the pandemic, but the Big Apple isn't as grand these days as it looks in the movies and TV.
I don't really travel, so I don't have an answer for this.
I'm trying to think
What was the question one more time?
what is a place you visited that you were kind of underwhelmed by after visiting?
Oh man, that's a good question. I feel like everywhere I've been sort of lived up or exceeded my expectations. San Antonio was better than I expected. Austin lived up to my expectations. New York, I wasn't in all that long, but I mean, when I was there, it lived up to expectations. Seattle was awesome. I'll say San Francisco just because I was only there a day and a half, and all I really got to see was a hotel conference room. I hate driving in Dallas. I'll throw that out there.
I mean, I don't know that I had expectations for it, but I absolutely despise LA. There's nothing good about LA. The traffic sucks. Like,
yeah, the airport's not great either.
yeah, like LA is probably the worst place I've ever been, and I've been to a lot of places. I can't think of anything that I even remotely disliked as much as I dislike LA. Like, anytime somebody says you want to go to LA, I'm like, oh hell no.
Have you ever been out of the country, Ken?
Yeah, I've been to Canada. That's about the closest I get to being out. I've been to Canada and Mexico. But outside of that, I've never been across an ocean.
I've never been to anywhere except Canada.
Yeah, same here. I've been to a lot of places inside the United States, but not a lot of places out.
Yeah.
Yeah. The farthest west I've ever been is probably Tennessee.
Oh God, that's not west.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been all the way out to
I've never crossed the Mississippi.
Dude, I've been all the way out to the ocean in California. So, and I've been all the way to the ocean on the other side. I was up in like the New England area. So.
Yeah, I've been all over the place. Been to Seattle, California, Arizona, Texas multiple times now. Vegas, obviously, everywhere basically, up and down from here to Florida. Been New York. I think I've told my New York story on the podcast before, but the first time I went to New York was 2008. It was last year. The old Yankee Stadium was open, and a buddy of mine had tickets to a Yankees game out there to take a client, and the client couldn't go. So he called me at about 4:00 on a Wednesday and said, "Hey, can you get off work tomorrow and probably Friday and drive out to New York with me?" And so we left at like 8:00 at night and drove the 10 or 11 hours, however long it is, to get to New York City. Slept in a hotel in New Jersey. He did his client meeting. We went over to Yankee Stadium at 5:00 in the afternoon. The game was over about 11:00 at night, and we drove straight back home. So I was in New York that time for about 6 total hours in the actual city. And then the second time I went to New York, it was Long Island, and I was only there for 2 hours. We literally flew in, met with a client for 2 hours, flew back out.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
So I've been to New York twice and only spent about a combined total of 8 hours there.
I was trying to think of states that I actually haven't been to, and I think the only ones I haven't been to are up at the very, very tip of the northeastern, like Maine. And I think I might have dipped my toe into Maine at one point, but I've hit every state out west. And
You've
you're
been
right.
to Hawaii?
I've not been to Hawaii. Like I said, I've never
Alaska.
I've never crossed an ocean.
Yeah. I've never been in a plane.
Really?
Yeah, I've never flown before.
Holy cow!
Wow.
I have flown so many times it just doesn't even faze me anymore. I still hate it.
Yeah,
It
I'd
sucks.
freak the fuck out.
It sucks, and it's not the flying that sucks. It's the doing it, like going through the airport. The
Yep.
seats suck.
Yep.
Yeah, that's I'm blessed that the last 2 business trips I've been on were private. So you just show up, get on the plane. There's no security. There's no nothing. You just show up, park your car, walk on the plane, and then when you land, you just get off the plane, get back in your car, and leave.
That'd be so nice. Because going to an airport's one of the worst experiences you can have.
Agreed.
I haven't traveled anywhere, but I can say this: Toronto. Don't just go. It sucks. It's just another city. It's got the CN Tower. Great.
I've been
That's
to
it.
Toronto. I like Toronto. It's a nice city.
I've been to Toronto.
It's just a city. Like, if you're going there unless you're seeing friends, there's nothing for you there. There really isn't. Like, unless you're catching a game of some sort or a concert, like if there's an event that you're going to, I get it. But otherwise, like, it's not a tourist town. Just because there's an airport there doesn't mean you should just stay in Toronto. Plus, the traffic sucks. But that's
I went to Canada every year of my life for about 13 or 14 years and never went to Toronto.
it's everything a big city has to offer, and that's what you're looking for. Okay, but like, honestly, if you're gonna be a tourist, if you're just going somewhere to enjoy yourself and you don't have any sort of predetermined plans, you'd be better off going to Niagara Falls, specifically the Canadian side.
I like
Niagara
Falls.
That's where we went. Yep.
Because Clifton Hill is got a bunch of arcades and haunted houses and all that stuff, big Ferris wheel. And then there's the Skylon Tower there, which obviously is nowhere near the size of the CN Tower, but you can look over the falls from the top. So it's a more interesting time with everything really close together, unlike Toronto, where it's a huge ass city because just urban sprawl has absorbed the cities around it. But I was in Toronto yesterday, and it's like, if I didn't have friends there, I wouldn't be going.
Yeah, we went to Toronto, 96. I was a kid. It was during the Olympics.
Huh.
And we went up to Niagara Falls, stayed in Buffalo. We went to Intercourse, Pennsylvania. Because of course we did. We took some pictures of the Amish.
I don't know if this counts as his disappointed to be somewhere, because I didn't really have expectations for this. But one of the worst experiences in my life was driving from west to east through Pennsylvania. And it was the most awful experiences of my life until I drove south to north through Alabama.
Have you ever driven through Nebraska?
I have not.
Okay, then that's on your bucket list for the worst drive you'll ever take.
Well, hey, let me tell you something. Driving all the way from the top of Georgia down to Florida.
Yeah, I've made that drive 100 times though, so that one.
That drive is 8 hours of bullshit.
Yeah, it's long. It's long, and Atlanta sucks to drive around. But I've drove 75 north to south in Georgia so many times that at this point it feels routine.
Sucker, you need to stop by my house though when you do it.
Next time we'll try and figure out a time to link up.
Okay.
I'll tell you the worst thing about going to Canada. If you have to stop in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit sucks.
Isn't this just avoid Detroit? Period.
You should, but that's
we used to add an hour and a half to our drive to Canada every year to get around Detroit.
Yeah, like if you want to go from where we are up into Canada, like Detroit is the shortest route. Like it's right there. And
yeah, you come up through Windsor.
Yeah, I've driven that a few times, and one time I had to stop for gas, and it was the most anxiety-ridden experience of my life.
Yeah, we did that when I was a kid. We drove up through Detroit and we stopped at this gas station, and there was barbed wire all the way around the gas station, like a barbed wire fence all the way around the gas station with just a place to go in and a place to go out. And my brother looked at me and he goes, "What do they think anybody's going to steal?"
It's not, yeah.
Anything not nailed down.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was not a nice expansive gas station.
No.
And I'm gonna be honest, you get across the border, and Windsor's not all that nice either.
It's
Nicer
a lot better than
maybe,
Detroit, Anthony.
but not great.
I remember one time we took a friend of ours to the Atlanta airport, and I'll never forget it. It's a nightmare driving through Atlanta traffic. People drive 400 miles an hour and don't give a shit. They just don't, like, what the fuck's a blinker? So there was a dude who just came over on us, and he was wanting to get off on an exit, and he just kept coming. And my buddy Alan, he was like, "Fuck it, I guess we're getting off on this exit," because he is not going to stop. So we got off on the exit, ended up in Buckhead, which, if you don't know anything about Buckhead, back in the day, it was where the rich people lived. And we legit drove by Ludacris's house.
Well, you know.
And we finally stopped at a gas station. There was a guy there, and his I don't know. We're like, we don't know how to get to where we need to go. And there was a guy there, and he had on a name tag that said, the name tag said Ethiopia. And I was like, let's ask this dude. So we asked him, "Hey, how do we get back on 85? He was like, "Well, it's easy. Go here, 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 here." He knew every single turn. And we left, and I was like, I don't think that guy was from Ethiopia. I think that was his name. Because he obviously knew his way around Atlanta.
You don't know, maybe he just studied it.
Maybe he did. Maybe he just studied a map.
All right, question number 3. We hear you guys talk about fast food chains which fast food chains have the best food, but what about the love for milkshakes? I personally think McDonald's makes the best ones, even if they don't contain real milk.
I don't do much milkshakes anymore.
Oh man, I had one last night.
Where'd you get it?
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake has some pretty good milkshakes. I don't think their burgers are that great.
They're good if you get them fresh, but if you don't...
Pretty much all the Steak and Shakes up here are so gross, I don't even want to think about going to one of them.
Most of them shut down around here.
I know it's not... I mean, fast food-wise, my favorite shake is from Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen just makes the best ice whatever.
I mean, it ain't wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat a Blizzard.
I mean, for fast food, if we're specifically talking fast food,
yeah,
I think Dairy Queen is my favorite milkshake.
My favorite milkshakes are, and this is a local thing, so it won't mean much to people that aren't on the show, but United Dairy Farmers, UDF, has the best milkshakes in my opinion.
Man, I didn't even think of that. It's not a fast food restaurant; it's a gas station.
Yeah, but it's
really good. Like if you
can
are
get
around
one
it,
quickly, especially now that a lot of them have drive-throughs.
Yeah, like I forgot about UDF, but UDF, if you're gonna ask me if I want a milkshake, that's where I would go.
Yeah, those concrete mixers from Culver's is pretty good.
Those are really good.
Yeah, Freddy's has concretes too that are pretty good.
Yep, Freddy's are good too. I mean, I can't jam out with any of the big chains. Like McDonald's just tastes bad. I don't care for McDonald's milkshakes.
I'm not a huge fan of theirs either. It's been a long time since I had one, but
dude, I could not tell you the last time I had a milkshake.
It's not a milkshake per se, but Burger King's Oreo shake or whatever.
Is it like a Blizzard kind of thing?
It kinda. It's got a lot of Oreo crumbles in it. Like that thing is real good.
You know, if I was gonna pick a fast food place for milkshake, I gotta say the two places I would pick would be Arby's. They have good milkshakes.
I didn't even know they had milkshakes.
Or White Castle. White Castle has good milkshakes.
Oh, you know who else has a good ice cream drink thing? Is Sonic.
They do. Yep.
Yeah, Sonic does pretty good with their stuff. Yeah.
Their burgers are disgusting, but shake's pretty good.
To be honest with you, dude, Dairy Queen has some pretty damn good burgers too.
Well, they can.
Their chicken tenders are pretty good, and they
The
have
chi-
the gravy that goes with them. Those are really
When if I go to Dairy Queen, I get the chicken tender box with the Texas toast. Well, it's not Texas toast, but you know what I mean.
No.
They got the cheese curds too.
Yeah, that's. But their burgers,
Dairy Queen-
I don't like their I don't like their burgers.
They're okay.
Yeah. All right, number 4 is not really a question. He says, never thought I'd fall in love with a Telltale-esque sort of game again. Sorry, Anthony, did you give a milkshake?
I don't drink milkshakes.
Oh, okay. All right. He says,
Oh, you're one of that kind of guy.
I'm lactose. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, you're lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
Okay, well then
I'm pushing it with every pizza slice, you know. So it's like, yeah, if it's just pure milk, yeah, I'm probably an ice cream. I'm probably shouldn't.
I mean, you're just going to fart a lot. You'd be all right. Never thought I'd fall in love with a Telltale-esque game again, but Black Sad blew me away with its story and characters. Definitely hope they make a sequel or at least a show about it in the future.
I believe I gave that a 9 or a 9.5. I just gotta. The best part about Black Sad is that if you think somebody, like, there are key moments where if you think someone is guilty and you haven't put the work in, that story will end right there. Like, you can accuse that person and that's the end of the game. And it's based off of a comic. Dark Horse publishes, has a couple of collections. The paperback is got, I think, 6 of the stories. There's not too many of them, but it's based off a comic, and the comic looks just like the game. So,
all right, his last question is, I recently quit smoking 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. To get in better shape. Also have been exercising a little and trying to eat right after gaining a pandemic belly from remote work for the past 2 years.
That can definitely happen.
I gotta tell you, last time I went to the doctor, my doctor told me I was the only person that had lost weight since the pandemic started that he helps. He was like, "You're ahead of the game there." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'm used to it. Y'all are getting new to this work from home shit where you can just eat garbage all day."
See, man, I lost weight during the 3 months that I was working from home. I lost like 15 pounds, and then gained it all back because when I was working at home, I ate at home.
Yeah.
And when I'm at work, I end up eating junk from fast food places because I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, I when I worked in an office, I would constantly eat fast food garbage, and when I'm at home, I don't. To be perfectly honest with you, I know it's horrible, but I don't eat when I'm working.
Yeah, I have trail mix for breakfast every day.
Yeah, I think I might have some crackers as a snack at some point, but like as far as eating, I don't eat. I'll drink a few bottles of water. I drink soda for my caffeine, and then I'll have some crackers, but I don't eat until after work. So, he says, I'm in my early 30s, and it kind of freaks me out that my past smoking days will catch up to me when I hear Ken still cough up a storm on the show. When do I cough up a storm? I clear my throat. What?
I don't notice you coughing as much anymore. I do notice you clearing your throat a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's just for me. Like, we do this show, and I basically just woke up, so I'm still, like, getting out of my groggy, but...
The phlegminess, yeah.
Yeah, I don't cough nearly as much as I used to, and it was a huge deal, because I used to wake up in the morning just coughing my lungs out. And I don't do that now. Like, I wake up with, like, a dry throat. That's about it. He wants to know if there's a reason I still have the cough. Honestly, I don't have the cough anymore. He wants to know if I was smoking 2 packs a day since age 11.
Honestly, I don't know how different it is because you're not super far away from me in terms of geography, but I found the air quality hasn't been great this year.
I don't go outside much either.
Yeah, neither do I. But I've been coughing and stuff, and it's like not sick cough. It's just like clearing my throat of like phlegm and stuff.
Yeah, I don't have much issue. I do have some allergy issues. Maybe that's because of the air quality. Like, I've noticed I've had more like sinus headaches and a little runny nose here and there, mostly from allergies. But I'll tell you, wearing a mask for the last 18 months, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a cold.
I have not been sick since the pandemic started.
Yeah.
I haven't had a cold or anything like that since October of 2019, and it is glorious.
I think
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not
gonna wear.
dropping the mask.
I was gonna say I think I'm gonna wear a mask for like going forward. Like it feels so good, and to be fair, I didn't really get sick all that much anyway. I have like this stupid strong immune system, but I am getting older, so I know that's not gonna last forever. But not being sick for almost 2 years has been fucking wonderful.
I take a Zyrtec every day.
That
So-
probably helps with the allergy part. Like I still get the allergy stuff. Like I said, I'll
Yeah.
get a sinus headache or I'll get runny nose or something, but I don't get sick.
Yeah, I take a Zyrtec every single day, mainly because I have a cat in the house too, and I'm allergic to cats. But yeah, I've been doing fine since this pandemic started.
Yeah, but it's good to hear somebody else quit smoking. I feel good, and truth be told, I do still vape, so that's probably another reason why my throat's dry a lot. I really should like cut that thing out at some point.
I mean, you don't do it nearly as much as you did when I started listening to the podcast, even. So,
Yeah, no, like I'll maybe mute 5 or 6 times during the entire show, just to do it because I don't want to do it into the mic. So
I wonder if he quit cold turkey.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm one of those people that like I tried at one point to like cut down my dose because you can buy the dose levels,
Yeah,
and I found out I just did it more because I didn't think about it.
yeah.
So like maybe I should just. I mean, I've still got 2.5 bottles of my juice that I can't buy anymore. So maybe when that's empty, maybe I just quit. I don't know.
I remember when I quit smoking cold turkey, which was years and years ago. It fucked me up
Yeah, it'll fuck up your body.
for like a month there. Like it was nothing but just fucking like diarrhea and shit. I mean, like it messed up my entire system.
Yeah, because you're cold turkey and off that drug, and the thing is all you gotta do is puff one, and you'll feel like 1,000 times better.
Oh yeah,
It sucks.
it's fucking horrible, dude. Nicotine sucks.
It does. It does. I do feel good though because like I can take a business trip and not take mine with me, and I will be okay. I'll be a little grumpy when I get back, but I would be okay.
Yeah.
Outside of, I don't know if Ryan, if you have this problem, but whenever I travel, I do get sick, like stomach-wise. I think it's just the change of places I go and the things that I eat, but I always get at least sick when I go out.
Yeah, I don't ever have stomach problems when I travel, but I usually have sinus issues, especially if I'm traveling out west
Yeah,
or to Texas. Like Texas the air down there is a lot drier.
I can't remember the last time I stayed in a hotel and did not have diarrhea. Just to be fair, it's just from I don't know what it is about traveling. It just does it to me.
Probably nerves.
But I don't get nervous.
You get stressed about it, though?
I do get stress and anxiety over, being out of my element because I'm very much a homebody. So that's probably what it is.
That's exactly what happens to me. I get stressed. Mine's the alternative where I can't go to the washroom, which is great. But I get stressed about like leaving anything behind. It's awful. I hate traveling for that reason. Like, am I leaving anything? Like, even if I know it's a place I can come back to, if I'm staying at a friend's house or whatever, it's just like I get stressed about leaving stuff behind.
I'll tell you the most like washing of great feelings is when you're going back home and you get through security and you're boarding the plane to go home. That is some of the most like relaxing feeling my body ever feels. Like being on the plane on my way to Dayton International Airport is awesome.
Oh no, that doesn't end until I have the luggage.
I always do
carry-on.
I always do carry-ons. I don't have to check luggage.
Yeah.
So, because my trips are usually less than like a week. So like it's maybe 2, 3, 4 days tops.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, as soon as I have all my luggage, we're good. We're done. The stress is now removed.
Yeah, man, goddamn, that's a good feeling. All right, we'll do a couple tweets. Mookie wants to know About Song of Iron, how's the experience in terms of combat? Is it intuitive? The fluidity learns more and coordinated dance, or does it break more as you flow? God, I'm trying to think back. That was like 2 weeks ago I played that game. It's more like a flow. It's more like a dance. You got to take your time, think about every move that you do. I didn't care for it, but I think if you like that kind of like deliberate combat, you probably will. David says, okay, did anyone else know that was Wolverine before the claws came out? We already talked about that.
Yep.
I was on the drive home and was calling out loud, and then they said it. Just excited Insomniac is doing it. I got a couple of games to finish before getting the sequels. I suck at finishing games. He also says, go Bears. Football's back.
Bears.
Bears. Yeah, football is on right now. It's behind me on my TV. I've been just kind of watching it. It's nice. This usually happens. It's almost become a tradition, but my team plays the last game of the first week, so I will not be yelling at my TV until tomorrow evening.
Aren't you a Seahawks fan too, though? Aren't they playing right now?
They are playing right now, and they're winning. Yes, I am a Seahawks fan. They're winning 14-10 last time I saw. So, but my main team plays tomorrow night, and I've already accepted that they're going to lose. Which is a good way to start the season, but I will still be watching the game, and I'm sure being very loud about it. OG Show says Insomniac saved that whole show and is carrying Sony right now, but it's so funny to see the exclusive argument come up again, and people are getting upset that certain games are not on their platform. Isn't this what people want? What sucks most of all is those games are $70. I guess, I mean, I don't know if that's what people want. I think people want to buy one box and play every game. I think that would be ideal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the plastic box warriors that want everything just on their console.
Yes, those people definitely
which is-
don't want games on other machines.
I have no issue when it is like in the case of Sony here, they are putting the money into development. So if it is exclusive, that's just the reality of it. They paid for it, and they made sure it came out as good as it does, because those Spider-Man games have been great. So, you know, if they want it just be on their console, then that's their decision. It's shittier when it's like a deal. Say, and the best example I can think of is Microsoft with the Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was a terrible decision that I'm pretty sure Microsoft lost money on, where they made that exclusive to Xbox One and Xbox 360. And it's like, why? The first game was on PS3 and 360. Like, there was no point to making that exclusive, but they did, and like that benefits nobody. They didn't put money into the development. They just paid for it afterwards, and that's shitty. That's where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, when you're paying to keep things off of other platforms is when I'd have a problem with it.
If you're paying for development costs, that's a bit different.
Yeah, when Bayonetta 2 was only on Nintendo, I was like, that's okay. That game would not exist if Nintendo had not paid for it to exist. So,
Yep.
I'm okay with that. But when you see a note of like, Sony is charging this company set amount of dollars so that crossplay is not available, I'm just like, dude, the fuck? Or like,
Yeah.
when they pay to say that this version cannot be better than another version, it's like, nah, I don't want any part of this, and I think it's stupid. And the only reason that you're doing it is so that the very loud console plastic box warriors are going to scream louder for your machine than the other one.
Yep.
You don't do it for the consumers, because if you did it for the consumer, that's the thing, is like when I see these console arguments this week about people like, oh man, Sony's killing it with this, and this, Xbox sucks, I'm like, why the fuck do you care? Like, if you really were interested in all the games, you would just eventually buy everything. Now granted, not everybody can drop $1,000 right out the gate, but if you have a PlayStation 5, if that was your choice, you should be looking at Game Pass and going, holy shit, man, when I can get $300 or $500, I'm totally getting an Xbox so I can play Game Pass, and vice versa. Like, it's the same thing. So, I don't know. I've never understood it. Mookie also says hearing Drew and Matt talk about 12 minutes in Phoenix Down kind of reminds me if the devs also took inspiration from the movie Predestination, but they executed them poorly. Maybe if they did a straight up adaptation, it would have been better.
I hate that movie.
I have never heard of that movie.
What's it
It's
called?
Predestination. It's a time loop movie. It's very weird. I know why he's saying it. It's not just because there's a time loop, but I'm not saying it's incest. It's not that, thank God. But it's very weird in that way of like how time loops affect reality and stuff. So yeah, I mean, like if you're gonna ask me what's a better product and better story, it's Predestination like tenfold. But I didn't like that movie either. I think it's almost the same level of like time travel is weird enough. You don't have to make it any weirder. But Ethan Hawke is the star of that movie, and like it's I can't even go into it without it just you just going, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can definitely see the parallels though. I'm surprised no one else has heard of that movie though.
No, I didn't know. I've never heard of this movie till I read this
Like,
email.
What is it? Primer and Predestination are kind of the two when I hear about time loops. I'm not familiar with Primer at all, but the Predestination I watched, and just prepare for like some really weird shit. I gotta say, like I didn't like the movie, but I also don't think the movie's bad. If that makes any sense.
All right, 2 more quickies before we get out of here. Mookie wants to know who's getting Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Drew.
Me.
I already pre-ordered it.
I have to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
ready.
I might get it. I'm not sure. It just depends. I got so much shit to play, man. I have already played Diablo 2, so it's like, man, I don't know if I want to invest in that right now. When I've got so much shit to play already.
Look up Diablo 3 to play.
Yeah, Diablo 3's still going, so, you know. His last question is, how do you guys perfect to cook a proper burger patty? Because mine only taste better whenever I do them via an air fryer. Cook a burger in an air fryer?
I've never heard of that.
I've not either. I can imagine that would, like, suck all the juice out of it, wouldn't it?
Does it? Or does it
I don't know.
just dry the outside, the inside stays juicy still?
I don't know. I've never tried that. I'm
I
curious.
haven't
now.
either.
But as far as the way I do it is, I'll tell you the best is fucking on a coal fire grill, man. Goddamn.
So I have a infrared grill. That it's a regular propane grill, but it actually has these metal shields over the flames, and it heats those shields, which also heats a set of ceramic plates that are on the actual grill. So it's not like fire touching the meat.
I got you.
And it makes the best hamburgers that I've ever had.
So it
so you
doesn't
just
have the smoke flavor?
No, it
Oh.
doesn't.
Man, I really
You
like
gotta-
smoke flavor though. I really do.
Yeah. I love the char.
Yeah, these come out perfectly juicy on the inside. Basically, all the juice ends up trapped.
Now I want a
in there.
burger. Burger sounds tasty right now.
Yeah. As far as burger prep goes, salt and pepper, patty them up, just throw them on a grill.
Do you cook in a skillet in the house if you're not cooking in a grill outside?
I mean, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
But they don't.
less
They're not as good though.
Agreed.
I'm less concerned on how it's cooked and more what's in the burger.
So
Like
here's my.
like a little bit of onion.
Sometimes we do chop up onion and mix it in with the patty. But my thing is, and this is just me, I gotta have my burgers well done.
Oh, you don't like the pink?
No, not with ground beef, dude. I'm okay.
I like-
I'm okay with that with a steak, but not with ground beef.
I'm okay with a little bit of pink as long as they're the right temperature. But Yeah, I don't need mine to be completely well done. They can be, a little bit of pink inside as long as I know they're 165 degrees.
I guess I like mine well done then. I mean, like, they're brown inside, but they're not like steak when it's well done is ruined. Like, because you dry that out to like beef jerky almost. Yeah, I guess I like mine well done. I think they're still juicy.
Yeah, they are.
I do.
I just to me, it's like, with a steak, it's one single slab of meat. With ground beef, you have oxidation coming in through all of it.
Too much surface area.
Yeah,
I don't know. I certainly don't want mine to be bleeding, but if there's a little bit of pink, I'm okay. I think I do prefer well done, but I can definitely eat it if it's not.
I'm also a fan of ground sirloin for hamburgers.
There's a little flavor to that's really good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What? I'm not familiar with this. What is ground sirloin?
Just a different.
It's just low fat meat.
Yeah, it's just a different cut of meat.
I don't think I've ever seen that available.
It's got a little like, I don't know how to describe it, but like you can taste it. It's kind of like when you have an Angus, you can taste the Angus beef.
Okay.
But it's kind of like that. It's got a little bit of a tang to it. It's really good.
Kobe
All
Wagyu is the shit, by the way.
What
Kobe
is?
Wagyu beef.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, just too expensive.
I think the whole point of this conversation is I can't understand how people won't eat a cow. It's so delicious.
I've met some cows, man, and trust me, it was like, oh god, if I stay here any longer, I will become vegan. I've already tried to cut down, but it's more honestly, it's less about the animals and more about just the way like the industry works. That's like really shitty. Because when I met the cows, they kill the cows there for meat, so it's not like these cows
that's what they're for.
Right, but they're not. I don't know. It's not a factory, right? It's not like they're raising these cows. Like these cows have free reign of the farm. They come in and get milked when they want to, and then when it's time, they kill the cow. And it's like that's far. I appreciate that far more than like, the way they keep chickens in other places and stuff. So, not trying to like. It's a weird level where it's like I'm not like so sympathetic to the animal, but good lord, the disaster of some of these bigger like corporations that, I mean, like everything, corporations ruin everything and industrialize it to the point where it's just causing way too much damage on the environment. Sorry, I got up on a soapbox there, not trying to.
Well,
just a weird thing where I
kicked your soapbox, now you fall into the ground.
It's just weird to pet an animal and then be like, I'm gonna eat you.
I don't know. I don't think I'd have a problem with that. I'd go pet a cow.
You know what? Though? It feels a lot better knowing what's going on. Like I almost now kind of want it. I don't want to know how the hot dog is made, but I'm willing to know where it came from.
All right. That's it. That's all I got. The only other thing I want to say before I go is, did anybody watch *Malignant*? I'm just curious. I know Ryan would not have watched that movie, but
no,
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, Drew, watch it.
What?
It's James Wan's new horror movie.
I've never seen a James Wan horror movie.
Yes, you have.
Have I?
Have you seen Saw?
Okay, I saw the first Saw.
Have you seen Insidious?
No.
Oh. What's his other? The Conjuring. Have you seen that?
No. In fact, when you put Insidious and The Conjuring and Annabelle and all those next to each other, I think they're all the same movie.
Well, The Conjuring and Annabelle are part of the same series.
And honestly, those aren't bad movies.
They're great
I'm not
movies.
like a huge horror fan, but I'm not a huge horror fan, but like one of those Annabelle movies, I want to say it was Creation? Probably Creation. It had some genuine moments where I'm like, oh wow, this is actually horror and not just jump scares. There's jump scares, but they felt earned.
I don't want to tell you anything about *Malignant*. I want you to watch it.
All right, you have to tell me. Does it have gore in it?
I read the plot summary already, so because I know I'm never going to. That's what I do with all these horror movies. I know I'm never going to watch them, so I just read the plot summary so that I know what people are talking about.
I'm kind of
That's me with a
curious
lot of
if the plot.
blockbusters.
I'm kind of curious if the plot summary like reveals anything, because I'm gonna tell you something about *Malignant*.
It reveals everything.
It feels like 3 movies.
Is there a lot of gore in the movie?
Yes.
Then I will never watch it.
Are you against gore now?
No, my wife is against gore. She will
Watch
not
it
watch
without
it.
her.
When the fuck am I going to watch it?
Man, this is one of those movies where I'd want to know if Drew could actually figure it out. And here's the thing, you might figure out the plot, but you're never going to figure out the turn. There's a scene that happens at the beginning of Act 3 where I literally stood up in my seat. It was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, as in, like, the reveal gotcha, or what?
Well, see, the thing is I kind of knew what the reveal was, but I didn't know how it was going to be presented.
Okay.
And that movie, once that reveal happens, turns into the wackiest fucking horror movie I've ever seen, and I loved it.
It's kind of like the remake to Evil Dead.
I mean, it is the wackiest horror movie I've seen in a long time.
So
the first act of the movie feels like this supernatural killer movie. The second half of the movie feels like this detective chasing a killer movie. And then the third act of that movie feels like some wacky Evil Dead shit that I can't even understand.
Okay.
There's something about that movie, man. If you get it spoiled, there is a scene that will be embedded in my brain for as long as I live. And anybody who's seen it, it's the hospital tape. Holy shit.
Okay. I'll see if I can convince Laura to watch it.
I mean, it's very gory.
There's something that I have to talk to you about after, Ken, because there was a twist in something recently, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. And
okay.
I don't want to spoil it.
We did watch Hereditary, which was kind of gory.
I have not seen that yet. Is that worth watching?
Holy fucking shit, Ken. That is one of my favorite horror movies in the past decade.
What was it again?
Hereditary.
Oh, yeah. I
Same
read
guy
the summary of that one.
Same guy did Midsummer.
Yeah, Midsummer.
I haven't seen Midsummer.
I thought Midsummer was garbage, but Hereditary is fucking fantastic.
I have wanted to watch Hereditary. I just have not yet.
You need to watch Hereditary. If I watch Malignant, you need to watch Hereditary.
All right, I'll find it and I'll watch it sometime.
Do it this week. I'm telling you, the last 15 to 20 minutes of that movie is fucking insanity.
All right. Well, I want to know how you feel about the hospital tape when it happens.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. That's all we got for this week. If you want to send us an email, it's podcast@ztgd.com. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's @N4G Podcast. You can follow me at ZTGD, Drew at DML Fury, Anthony at Complacent Robot, and Ryan at Wombat RP. God, I think I got it all. The site's at ZTGD Content. Check out Phoenix Down. We already talked. The next game's Diablo, which you guys won't be starting for another week and a half.
No, we're going to be doing an intermission show, which I need to ask Anthony how you want to do an intermission show next week.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Wow.
Maybe we can do like another one of those unsolved mystery things.
So check this out. Like my fucking Apple TV is crazy. So I told it who my favorite teams were. Well, my phone just sent me a message said that Russell Wilson is going off with 3 TDs and over 150 yards.
Nice.
That is a cool... You know my TV does that shit too? My TV tells me when my team starts playing, and then when the game's over, it tells me the score. Technology's fucking crazy, dude. Anyway.
I got a couple people in fantasy going off right now, but the people I expected to go off are not among them.
I mean, it's week 1. It's always hit and miss. So, who knows?
Yeah. Thankfully, Kyler Murray is on a tear right now. So, but
All
Josh Allen, who's my quarterback in my other league, is not.
Yeah, you kind of would expect. He'll get into the groove, though. That he seems to be a slow starter, strong finisher. So I think he'd be all right.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for the show this week. We'll be back next week to talk more video games. So unless anybody has anything else, we'll get out of here. Peace, bitch.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.
Epic fail. N4G Podcast. $0.
This is going to be a very interesting episode.
Gather's time.
Greetings, programs. I got lost trying to find my way to the secret underground N4G Radio lair.
The Wombat. And
I always live being angry.
Killer Wolverine. Play games, not consoles. No fanboys allowed.
And then I killed the dragon. 8.0.
Killed the dragon.